Are you guys the type of people that need to be at an airport like
No.
way before your flight?
I am.
Yeah.
I like to get a coffee. Sometimes I like to browse the gift shop.
I need 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't like any security
crazy
surprises.
behavior.
I
I
get
need
pat down every time, so.
I need a cushy little window, but I'm cool.
badass.
Right in the dangerous.
And those
life.
hands weren't inside out when they pat me down. I was like, girl.
Girl.
Are we ready?
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick. You watch Babygirl? You want to start there?
Babygirl.
Thank you for watching it without me.
Honestly,
Thank-
I felt like I'm really glad I watched it at home. If I were one of those people who went to the movie theater and sat beside other people while I watched that, I would have really struggled.
Is it hot?
You know, I wish it would have been maybe a little bit more relatable kinks.
When I was a child,
Oh boy.
Okay.
Interesting.
Not where
I
I
just
saw
always
for that.
remember movies were rated G, PG, PG-13R, and it was like NC-17. But you never really heard of those movies, and it was basically porn. But like they never came out with a movie that was like NC-17. Should this be NC-17?
This was not porn, no. I mean, there was really not as much nudity as I went in expecting there to be.
Then what's the
But
problem?
Nicole Kidman does have an amazing pair of boobies, I will say.
So
Good
we get
for
to see
her.
them.
We get to see Nicole Kidman's boobies.
Ooh.
How old is Nicole Kidman?
I don't know, but anything Nicole Kidman does, I'm a fan of. I'll watch. But like I said, I wish it was maybe a little bit more relatable kinks. I don't know, and maybe this is me like kink shaming people, but I don't know how many women want to be treated like a dog.
When you say treated like a dog.
It was like get on your hands and knees and put a treat in his hand and wanted her to crawl over and eat the treat out of his hand type of thing.
No thanks.
You know, so it was like,
Whose kink was that? His or hers?
I think both of theirs,
Oh.
obviously.
She's
face.
57.
Did you watch it?
Defying gravity and time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
you know, it went a lot of places I didn't see it going. There was a lot of like, oh my God, okay.
Did you enjoy it?
It was a nice way to pass.
What was River doing?
She was asleep.
Okay.
She was napping. She was napping, and I thought, what a good time to like watch this movie that I've heard so many mixed reviews about. And I will say, Harry Dickinson.
Harris Dickinson.
Harris Dickinson. Handsome man, easy to be like, okay, I want to watch him and Nicole Kidman. But it was just very odd. It was really odd. I think my main takeaway is like, I think it would have landed better with the women if it was like a little bit more relatable.
Was Harris more appealing to you in the first 5 minutes of the movie or in the last 5 minutes of the movie?
Ooh, good question.
Ooh. Well, definitely the first,
Okay.
for sure. But then it's weird because then like
Rough.
it's all about she like has this affair on her husband. Her husband is like this French man, and then he like ends up submissing the husband. Is that the right
Oh.
word?
Wait.
Dominating the husband.
Oh, so we
Harris.
have like,
Harris. So it's like he has some superpower.
suddenly I'm watching.
Yeah. I mean, not like to that extent,
Oh,
but
okay.
definitely
Now
to
I'm
an
not
extent
watching.
where you're
Is
like,
it
I
like-
wouldn't expect that to be his reaction.
Is
you
it
know?
like the husband is like in the closet watching this happen situation?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So it's
No.
not a
Cucking.
cuck.
No. It's like he's having a panic attack, and who does he go to for relief? The man who has been fucking his wife.
When you say
Wow.
relief, like a therapist?
Like a
Good question.
and Nicole tries to like help him. This is very spoiler alert. So if anyone was trying to watch this movie, I'm very sorry.
Well, you were giving a review.
I was giving a review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it by now, you don't get to like call dibs on a movie.
It's been-
after
yeah.
It's
It's
out
been
for
a
months.
minute.
It's been
a
out
minute.
since Christmas Day. We're February. We're in mid.
We're in the
That came out
FYC
Christmas
campaign.
Day?
Christmas Day. Yeah. But so he's
Ho,
like
ho.
having a panic attack, and his like wife tries to comfort him, Nicole Kidman, and he's like, not you. And then Harris Dickinson is like, come here. And he's coming to Harris. So very interesting, very odd.
does Harris
Would I watch it
Dickinson look like?
again? I would not.
Hot.
Would I recommend it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But if you love Nicole Kidman and like, I mean, she's a phenomenal actress, so it was like fun to,
Yeah,
you know.
attractive guy.
Did you like the
He-
club scene that everybody's talking about?
Club scene.
Where like she looks so lost and she's just standing there
Oh,
with like
yeah,
the
yeah.
incense.
Yeah. She kisses a girl in that scene,
Oh.
which this like extra gets to kiss Nicole Kidman. So pop
Ugh.
off for her.
Not a bad day at work.
Not
is
a
it?
bad day at work. They were like, you're booked for the gig. And she was like,
Okay.
Here's my script. Wow,
So all
perfect.
she did was make out in the cold.
all she did. Yep.
Why am I never God's favorite?
Honestly. So
It might be too short for that role.
Wow.
To kiss Nicole Kidman?
Wow, I'm too short to kiss Nicole Kidman.
Isn't she really tall?
You can stand on a.
I could get on my
Thing.
tiptoes.
Apple box?
Okay, she was married to Tom Cruise.
Apple
I'm
box.
I'm probably the same
You're
height as that
probably
man.
right. I didn't mean to
I can get the
offend.
platforms.
but I will say I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Why? What did he do?
What did I do?
It wasn't Nick.
Physically
It
or
was my own
metaphorically?
doing.
What did you do?
I took a shower last night, washed my hair, and did not get all the conditioner out.
Oh.
And I found out this morning the back of my head is like
Crispy.
a swamp ass back there.
Mm.
So don't
Yuck.
look. Yeah.
The front looks good.
Don't look at the back. The back is none of my business. I can't see it. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we have a great episode lined up for you today. We have Olympic gold medalist and World Cup champion, former American professional soccer player Kelley O'Hara is with us to talk about all things reality TV. She's watching Traitors and Beverly Hills Housewives, Summer House. She's all into Bravo. And then later in the episode, along with Kelley, we're going to have Boston Rob himself from Traitors zooming in to give us all the inside tea about his time on Traitors. We're super excited about that. Plus, Sierra's got something excited to share with you.
I do have some exciting news for the Viall Files. We are starting a newsletter.
Woo!
And on our website, you'll be able to sign up by adding your email, but it's going to help you stay up to date with all of the shows that we're watching, introducing you to some of our NV Media shows, Disrespectfully, Humble Brag, if you're not familiar with them, our Viall Files Plus, and just exciting news about what's going on at the Viall Files, what we're watching, what we're loving, recommendations from Natalie
We'll throw in some of my like monthly favorites
from Your Like to Know, Shop Her Closet, recommendations for River. So for your babies. So it's going to be fun. You're not going to want to miss anything that we are updating you on. So
For all the people listening to the show, like we think of you as also a member of the household, but really to be a member of the household, I think you really need to know what's going on here at the household. So sign up for the newsletter. I think we're going to drop it when?
monthly,
Monthly.
starting Friday,
Starting
Valentine's Day.
Friday, Valentine's Day. Follow us. Go to our Instagram, our Viall Files Instagram for more information. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, information will be on our Instagram, so check it out. Well, Bachelor Nation is up in arms for two reasons. One, some think Grant lied. I'm still very much Team Grant. Obviously, on the episode on Monday night,
Rose told Carolina that Grant told her that he was thinking of her while he was on stage with Carolina. Carolina went to Grant, didn't say that Rose told him, but by process of elimination, he figured out that Rose told Carolina this, went to confront Rose, to where Rose said, I could have sworn I heard you say that. Now, there is a clip resurfacing.
do we have the clip?
We do.
But I still kind of think mine and
I'm very much Team
Leia's
Grant
theory
still.
was kind of right, though. I think how he's
I'm
saying it versus how
really
she heard
holding
it,
back from saying I told you so.
two different things.
Very interested in you. Like even today, right? You know, the whole dancing thing on stage and everything. I was thinking about you. I don't want you to feel like I'm not paying attention because I am.
He also doesn't say when I was dancing with Carolina, I was thinking about you. They were all dancing on stage at some point. So like he could have just been like, while everyone was dancing on stage, I was thinking about you. He didn't
have a take
specify
here.
Carolina.
Leia's bursting at the seams. Please,
I
Leia.
have a take. This is what I think happened. I think that there was some miscommunication with Carolina and Rose. And I think Rose communicated the conversation the way that Grant said it, where he was kind of just like, I was thinking of you guys while we were dancing, right? Harmless statement. But
Harmless
Carolina,
statement?
yeah,
By
I
Grant.
think what Grant said was harmless.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Grant's was.
I think what Grant said was harmless. I
Okay.
don't think that he's at fault. I think what happened was Carolina inserted her name into the conversation that she had with Rose. And she was like, Rose
You think
said that
Carolina's
you
the messy
said-
one in this scenario?
I think Carolina is the one who is making this messy. I'm not saying she is necessarily doing it on purpose, but I do think that maybe she's embellishing. Maybe she is like inserting her name where it wasn't. And I think that when Rose was maybe telling the story to maybe a larger group of people, Carolina miscommunicated what was said to her to Grant and took it a little bit out of context, which made Rose look really bad.
Well, Rose did say her and Carolina were having a private conversation while getting ready, and that's when.
Yeah. And well, I do think Carolina
fine.
is a
So
little
even if
messy.
they're having a private conversation,
Whose team are you
I don't
on
know.
here, Leia?
I'm on Team Rose and Team Grant. I think Carolina I think we will come to find that Carolina
I think
messed this up a little.
you think there's more to be revealed on this story?
She thinks
Mhm.
Carolina was
Mhm.
being messy and added herself where Rose was just saying, like, I was thinking of you while I was dancing on stage. And then Carolina adds in, while I was dancing with Carolina. Like, I think she's saying that
Mhm.
Rose is saying it in, like, the general context of how Grant said it, and that Carolina's hearing it as a personal dig to her.
I think the biggest takeaway is Bachelor needs to, and maybe you can give us some insight in if they'd ever do
You need
this.
to go Bravo.
But go Bravo and
Yeah.
give us a
You read my
flashback.
mind.
Mhm.
Yeah. Why don't they do flashbacks?
Mhm.
No.
They
It's
could
like
be messier.
They
if
are
wanted to be.
taking.
They should.
I mean, like they did the Casa Amor on Bachelor in Paradise. Like they aren't against like changing the secret sauce, the the ingredients to the show. But like,
No,
do you think they'll ever?
they've done a flashback or two here or there, but it's not part of their like.
It's more like introducing characters
The
or like
recipe?
reminding you what season people are from, but not like as evidence.
But
Not
it's like
when it-
that would have been the perfect example to do that because
Yeah.
they knew it would stir up something online of people like pulling back the footage. It's like
The
you
pr-
might as well just show us.
The problem in this particular drama is that it does appear that Grant technically did say the thing that Rose claimed that he did say. I think Rose is the messiest person in this scenario. Carolina, she clearly is messy. Like that's been evident,
Yeah.
like.
She's grinding with that man on a stage.
But like, why? In what context did Rose need to say this? Like, why is she speaking on conversations that her and Grant are having, and with someone else? It's like she said it for a reason, and that reason is what, other than being messy.
I could kind of believe too that maybe it's a little like one-upping, like where they're just kind
Yeah.
of like, oh yeah, well I had this special moment, like oh my god, well my special moment or whatever, and that's what I'm saying is that maybe one person didn't take things personally where the other person did.
I feel for Grant because in this, I believe that when he was like, I would never say that, and this speaks on my character, that he was in that moment, he thought he was telling the truth.
Yeah,
I really believe that.
100%.
And I like the way that it was delivered from Rose and the context at which delivered. I think Grant heard that and was like, I would never do something like that. Like, I would never he just like, I would never do something like that. And I do think it was a throwaway comment. And he's trying to literally manage a group of women because they're all looking at him as like, kind of like, what should we do next?
Mhm.
He's supposed to solve all the problems and he's supposed to make them all feel good and seen and heard and validated. And it's like, it's a minefield. And he's just trying to survive this minefield. Grant was collateral damage here.
Yeah.
And like, again, Rose was just like messy. She was so messy.
No.
Why?
I have a soft spot for Rose.
Carolina was messy
How?
because Carolina is the one who told Grant the story. Rose was just there when Grant went to her and said, "Did you say this?" And she was like, "I thought I heard that." But Carolina is the one who communicated the conversation back to Grant.
If
and so
I mean,
think
listen,
that-
if I
Yeah, if anyone's gonna change the story, it would be Carolina.
except listen, if I'm Carolina, right? If you're Carolina, like, wouldn't you be a little
Sure.
perturbed that if
Perturbed.
Grant in fact said that?
Yeah.
Like, she's having a moment, and like in Bachelor world, any one-on-one time, no matter where it is or what context, it's like winning the lottery. It's like you're programmed to be like, this is the biggest deal in the world. And she heard that her friend, another woman, like that the Bachelor was like, yeah, I was thinking about you when I was dancing with her. Wouldn't kind of annoy you? That wouldn't make you feel a certain way?
I could see how it's annoying, but also I'm like, you just got off of a private jet Vegas date. He's literally like hearing you out and like giving you all of this attention and validation.
Who started this?
Who started what?
This whole thing?
Carolina.
How?
It was
No,
She came home, or
Rose did.
It was never a thing
If
until
Rose
Carolina
kept-
made it a thing.
It was never a thing until how am I?
Carolina spiraled.
It was never a thing until Rose said something to Carolina. It started there. If Rose doesn't say anything to Carolina, it doesn't go anywhere.
But you don't know what Carolina said to Rose to where Rose felt comfortable to say that to
Exactly.
Carolina, and Rose
She
didn't
still
spiral,
said
but
that.
Carolina did.
Yeah, we're right. We don't know. What we do know is that Rose brought it up to Carolina.
Right? And we also know that Carolina
But
not
she
only
didn't-
spiraled, said she wished she never went on her one-on-one with Grant because this comment was so, like, broke her down so
That's
much.
That's after Rose said something.
If Rose would have said this to one of the other women who were there, because he did not say while Carolina and I were dancing, he just said while everyone
Exactly.
was dancing or while we were dancing, you were on my mind.
Mhm.
So if she would have gone to Latia and been like, "Oh my God, Grant said that like he was thinking of me while like everyone was dancing," or like while like y'all were
Yes.
dancing, or like while he was, she wouldn't have been like, "Oh my God, I have to go to Grant and be like, what the fuck."
I feel like what you're saying is making my point.
Okay.
No?
Period.
She went to Carolina.
We're just saying that Carolina's messy, not Rose. We think it
no,
with this whole thing.
Leia,
I mean, they're both
absolutely get
messy. They're both messy.
We know that Carolina's messy in general, but this particular dilemma, Rose started it. She did. How can you argue that anyone started it but Rose?
Rose told Carolina about a private conversation she had with Grant
That she should not have said. She
that
shouldn't
we
have said
don't-
to anyone.
We don't have the footage of that because it was off camera and off mic'd. So we don't have footage of that. We're just going off of what Carolina is saying back to Grant.
Well, what could have Carolina said that would have made Rose in a position to be like, well, he was thinking about me too? Like, why did she need to say that? In what context was that a nice thing to say to someone maybe opening up about a special moment she thought she had with Grant?
Hey girl, how you doing?
Like, but like, explain to me, like, in
Hey,
what
He was
in
thinking
what
about
world?
me while he was dancing.
In
with
what world
everyone
is that
else,
not a
so-
messy thing to do?
You're right. No, you're right. That is messy.
No, I think in a world where you're debriefing with your girlfriends and it's like, oh my God, he said the sweetest thing to me. And she wasn't
dating
even
the same guy.
thinking that Carolina would put herself into that story.
So
Because she
Rose-
was probably just like,
So
he
Rose
said
isn't
the sweetest
thinking,
thing to
but
me.
Carolina's messy?
well, Rose, because what he said was when we were dancing, I was thinking of you. And he never said when me and Carolina were dancing. And Rose probably just said like, oh, he said the sweetest thing to me. Like he said that like when we were all dancing, he was thinking of me.
But we don't
And then
know what she said
Carolina
because there is no footage.
probably
Yeah, you're
was
just,
like,
you're
guessing,
just
guessing,
making
Yes.
shit up. And again, like the fact that Grant, you're right. The fact that Grant didn't specify Carolina and that Rose said something to Carolina, she made Carolina feel like that's exactly what Grant said.
We don't know.
But we know she said something. We know she started it.
I think we have a bigger dilemma than this.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, yeah. Well, Bachelorette is canceled.
Sure.
That too.
That
Yeah.
too.
My biggest dilemma.
Definitely.
All because of this feud.
I can't sleep at night.
It was gonna be Rose or Carolina, but now canceled because of this. No, I mean that is kind of fucked up.
It's kinda crazy.
Apparently, Rachel Recchia said that like they had already picked one and she knew who it was, and they were like
I find that highly unbelievable.
that they've already picked one.
It's February. If listen, anything's possible. But it would be the first time in my experience with this franchise of over a decade that they would have selected a Bachelorette this early. If they're gonna pick a Bachelorette from the most current season, they let the season play out. They find out who the fan favorites are. They see what people think. They wait certainly until like Women Tell All taping to get a sense of like who the fan favorites are.
But they definitely don't pick the fan favorite. We've seen that time and
Sure,
time again.
I understand that, but like they also, you know, they see there's no reason at this point to like make a selection. Have they had conversations with a handful of the women to see if they would be interested? Probably, possibly. That could be 5 or 6. I do believe that maybe a conversation was had with one of the women, and that person went around telling everyone they were asked to be the Bachelorette, and then found out because that happens all the time. But I think it's crazy that they are putting it on pause.
Well, another kind of rumor is that basically Mormon Wives is going to replace the Bachelor time slot.
That's interesting.
But
Yeah.
isn't Mormon Wives only an hour long and Bachelor's 2?
Bachelorette is usually 2.
And also, I know back in October they announced that Variety announced actually that Hulu was where Mormon Wives season 2 was going to be. So
well,
it's
what's
like-
interesting is that Rob Mills, who runs Unscripted for ABC, he's also in charge of Hulu and Disney Plus. So he's kind of in charge of all of them, and there's just a lot of symmetry or
Synergy.
Intermingling.
synergy or whatever. Thank you, Mary.
Cross contamination.
Cross contamination.
Contamination. That is how it feels.
Of course. And I think they're still trying to figure it out, but Rob Mills would be the person to decide to put Bachelorette on pause.
Okay.
And I think he has the, right now, I like during Grant season, right? They're re-airing season 1 of Mormon Wives following The Bachelor.
Yes.
Which, like, sometimes when strikes have happened and things like that, they've like aired like Showtime shows on CBS because they're owned by the same entities,
Mhm.
things like that. And so maybe they're trying out Mormon Wives on ABC to see how it does on the network television. But it is scheduled to be released on Hulu only, but it's still possible. I could see it possible that ABC also has it as well. There might be like contractual obligations between who gets what first. Obviously, with Bachelor ABC, they air it on Monday nights, and then like the next day it's available on Hulu. So it'll be interesting, but that's definitely possible. I don't know why they felt like they had to do one or the other. Like there's
I think
there's 5 days in a
deeper-
week.
Or maybe
I-
it just worked out like that.
I think there's a deeper rooted thing here, and maybe we should dig.
Should we dig?
Okay.
But I have a bigger dilemma
Share.
that I'm trying to get out here,
Okay.
people.
I want to hear.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
If you're the first in bed, do you have to
Oh.
run the nightly errands?
Oh my god.
If you're the first in bed,
We almost got
like you
divorced
both-
the other night.
We almost got divorced.
what's the nightly errands?
Like getting the water, locking up the doors, turning off the lights, turning off the TV, letting out the dogs.
That doesn't make any sense. If you're the first in bed,
So you and Connor, you're like, all right, let's go to bed. You go to the bedroom, brush your teeth, whatever, get in bed. Nick, Connor. I like Nick shows up. What do you do? Connor comes in and you're like, honey, could you like grab the water?
yeah,
He goes and gets the water.
100%.
What if he got in bed and was like, no, you go get the water?
No,
That's
Like, that would be crazy,
Oh,
right?
That's
my
crazy.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're already in bed.
You're already in bed.
You're
so
up.
whoever's in bed first,
This is a lie.
the other night,
That
I'm
takes
in bed.
effort for you to crawl into bed, by the way.
It does. The other night, I'm in bed, cuddly, snuggly, warm, under the covers, very cozy. Nick?
Let's really paint an accurate picture.
Sure.
Every night, I shut down the house.
Man,
Nine-
But not very well, so I have to double check.
95% of the time, I cover it all. Which it's a handful of errands, including getting her water,
okay.
which she can't seem to do on her own before she goes to bed.
Yeah, of course not. It is a man's job.
You don't want to get the mother of your child water?
yeah.
Thank you.
It's not a job. No. If everything is my job, then it's never an act of love.
But you also ask for that water in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Once a month.
Oh, right. You share water.
Continue.
I also took out it was garbage day the next day, so I had to take out the garbage the night before.
Did you have to put your shoes on for that, or did you already have your shoes on, ready to go?
I had to put shoes on for that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I had to go back and forth a few times because Natalie had various requests.
What were they?
I don't even remember, but
Hmm.
there are too many.
Convenient.
Do you?
Shut this, grab
Nothing.
that. She's just barking out orders. Like she doesn't remember. Finally, I get in bed, and then
Before
Natalie
you got in bed.
Natalie wants.
before.
I could get in bed every night and just go to bed and just close my eyes and dream about my
Whenever
family.
you're ready to hear the truth, you can circle back to me.
I can't
And
wait.
Natalie wants to watch TV.
Uh-huh.
Natalie couldn't find the remote. I could give a fuck if we watch TV. I'm ready. I'm ready for bed.
That's not true. You weren't ready for bed.
I was absolutely
You
ready.
were not.
I did.
Whenever y'all are ready for the truth.
I definitely did not. I didn't need to watch TV. And Natalie's like, I can't find the remote. Can you go in the living room and grab that remote? I'm like, absolutely not. No.
Ah.
I put my foot down because it was just like, I'm always getting out of bed. And this one time I was like, if you want the remote, go get the remote. Because every once in a while, a request sounds like an order. And
Sorry.
I'm just whatever. You know, I talk
That
your
was
shit.
really good.
Talk
That
your
was
shit.
a good snore.
That was a really
Talk
good
your
snore.
shit.
So the truth
Okay.
to this whole story.
Oh no! If it proceeds, no. Let me finish.
Okay, trying to shut a woman down.
Really? Were you silenced?
No, I'm refusing to get the remote. No.
No, let me go. Just let me go.
He doesn't want your
That's
side.
enough.
He knows you're
That's
right.
enough. You're done.
He's stalling.
So the truth to the matter is Nick does his own nightly routine. He's got all these like pills he's popping, vitamins he's taking, shots. So he's like, he lets the dogs out to pee and he makes the water. And then when he lets the dogs out to pee, he's got to shut the door. We have the sliding door. So we put those little poles up behind the door so no one can break in for my intruder syndrome. Lock the doors, turn the lights off. I'm back there scrubbing my face, doing my 16-step nightly routine, which I feel like is a little bit more strenuous than what he's doing out there. I managed to finish before he comes back. Get in bed, pull the covers up, quite
Dibs.
cozy.
Like, you hop in bed so I don't do shit.
He comes in and it's 9:30.
Okay.
9:30. And so
Well past my bedtime.
I'm like, let's watch our show because we had to watch all of our homework. So I'm like, let's watch our show in bed. He's like, okay, cool. And I'm like, where's the remote? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, is it on your side? He's like, no. And I'm like, well, could you go and get the one in the living room? Takes off his clothes,
I also want to
gets in the bed. No. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, I'm not doing that. I don't need I don't need it. I don't need it. So then I'm like, okay, well then I'll sing myself to sleep. So I start singing. Then he opens his laptop and he starts getting on Twitter, doing whatever the hell he's doing. He's like, I don't need the TV. I can do research. And I'm like, okay. So then I get my Kindle and I'm like, I can read. I start reading out loud. And then he turns on
Reading
music.
out loud.
He turns on
then
music
then I turn on ambient noises to
to
drown
the
her
loudest volume. And we're both like, get out of bed. No, you get out of bed. No, you get out of bed.
You guys sound like the Step Brothers scene where it's just like, I'm gonna
Yes,
hit you
do
with
it
bricks.
That's exactly what it was. And then it was even more annoying than reading loud. Then she was reading with a whisper for 20 minutes.
Which one was worse, out loud or the
The
whisper?
Because after
like
a
this
while,
bit.
the ambient music that I was playing just to like drown her out, I had thought she stopped, and then I turned down the ambient music only for her to hear.
Oh, you're still going.
But wait, this sounds like, could all of this have been avoided?
If now you just got her ass out of
had
bed,
you just
got
gotten the
goddamn
water
remote.
in the remote?
Literally. It was that easy.
It's not my job.
It is though.
Well,
When you're the last in bed, it is your job to do. Sorry, it's a race, and I beat you that day.
It is shotgun.
It
it is
shotgun.
It's
Thank
shotgun
you.
rules. It's shotgun rules.
Total shotgun rules. So, anyways, glad we
Yeah.
got that covered. Did y'all see that Mandy Moore posted about Amazon delivering a package to her in-laws' house that had burnt to the ground?
So messed up.
Like, just left this package on top of burnt
Who's at
rubble.
fault though?
Amazon.
Amazon. You
Who's
put
at
it down
fault?
in front of a non-house.
You
I doubt
show
it's
up
an
to the
Amazon
address and you're
policy
like-
to.
I feel like that one can go back to the factory. Like,
right.
I think the driver is definitely at fault.
I think the driver is delivering to the address that
I mean,
they
listen,
were
I get
told.
it. Like,
I wouldn't do it, but you're doing your job. You know what I mean?
But
And
really, you're going to set that package right there and be like, oh, they'll come and get it if I ring the doorbell? Like, come on. You couldn't put
I
it
don't
back on the
think-
truck, take it back to the warehouse and be like, hey, so this house
This
is
is
burned
burned-
down.
That
Maybe
is
we
what
need
I
to,
would
like-
do personally, but I do not know what, like at a big, they have so many deliveries. Who knows like what their protocol is for like, you have to get this done. You have to get this done at what time speed, they
I was
have
gonna
like those
say,
really short windows.
They were just on strike for like being overworked, but still, I'm like, if I'm delivering a package, if anything, I'm skipping the house that doesn't
Right.
exist.
You added more work to yourself by stopping, finding the package, getting out of the car, leaving it on the rubble, getting back. That was you
you
added
saw
yourself
a burnt
another
house
5
from
minutes.
the street.
The house
Yeah.
isn't there.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I
Go to the
wouldn't
next
per-
neighborhood.
I would not personally do that.
That's crazy.
They also have like Amazon places like at Whole Foods and whatnot where you can pick up stuff at
Yeah.
a locker.
Just to play devil's advocate.
I don't
like-
think he needs it.
I love it when she says that.
What if the driver thought that the homeowner like had ordered something that was helping clean up or fight the rubble?
I don't think that driver was thinking of anybody but his
Do you think they were
lazy
Gen
ass self
Z?
that day.
Like, it's.
I don't know.
like
but
it's reaching.
Amazon
I
did
don't
respond.
know.
And Amazon put out a statement saying, we've reached out to Miss Moore via Instagram.
Oh. We love it.
Their social media marketing person for Amazon DM'd her to apologize for this and to ask for more information from her in-laws so we're better able to investigate what happened here.
Let's still investigate. I had a package. My house burnt down. You left it.
They said, for weeks, we've advised those who are delivering on our behalf in Southern California to use discretion in areas that were impacted by wildfires, especially if it involves delivering to a damaged home. That clearly didn't happen here. So they put out a wide spread being like,
Don't
hey,
do that.
Being
don't
like,
do that.
It's our workers' fault.
And
not
Tony
us
was
as a
like, hey, I'm
company.
going to leave it anyways.
Well, it probably was the employee's fault.
It definitely was.
It was
for sure.
definitely the employee's fault, but I could also see a bigger picture of like
Being overworked.
being overworked, what they have to do, how much they have to deliver. I don't think it's an
how much
excuse
do you
for
have
doing
to be
that.
overworked to like see a house that no
Yeah.
longer exists.
That's the thing.
That is very true. I
To
just
get,
think it's
like-
also a thing at the same time. Both things are true.
Maybe it was Gen Z.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Gen Z.
I think
as a Gen Z, I would probably do that.
Well, 1 in 6 companies are hesitant to hire recent college graduates.
Why?
Well, in August, Intelligent.com surveyed 966 business leaders involved in hiring decisions at their company to explore attitudes towards hiring recent Gen Z college graduates. 75% of companies report that some of all of their recent college graduates they hired this year were unsatisfactory. 6 in 10 companies.
Some or all.
Damn.
Damn.
6 in 10 companies fired a recent college graduate they hired this year. 9 in 10 hiring managers say recent college graduates should undergo etiquette training. A majority of companies, 79%, report that they had to place at least some of their underperforming hires on performance improvement plans, and 60% report some were eventually fired.
Why do we think this is?
What do you think, Nick?
Are you Gen Z, Leia?
I am on the cutoff here.
Hey.
You're on the cusp.
I'm also a cusp, I will say.
I'm on the cusp.
We're not cusps.
Yeah, no, they say that a lot of us that are from like 1999 to 2003 are the ones that like grew up like through the recession. The COVID was during our primitive years of like high school, college.
Wait, so
whatnot.
am I not Gen Z?
I don't think you are.
No, I think like you're
It
cusp, if anything.
I do think people perpetuate a narrative that all Gen Z is like lazy. I do know a lot of lazy people, but I also know a lot of ambitious people.
I think there's also a lot of like employers can't be like stern and strict with their employees.
Or direct.
Whereas like I thrived when I was in the workforce. I thrived on like I needed someone to be like, you have to do better. Like, absolutely not. That's not gonna
Same.
work.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I
Yeah.
needed that.
Interesting.
And it would like if I did not perform well, it would make me emotional. I would cry. Like I needed to be and I don't think a lot of
I think there were a lot of
people
gentle
are.
parents out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bosses aren't gentle parenting. And I think not all Gen Z employees are like that. I do think overall, my interpretation is Gen Z expects less of themselves. But I do think there's a heightened increase in general. Maybe not across the board or with everyone, but
Well, you know who isn't a Gen Z, but I also think deserves respect? Paige from Summer House. Have you been seeing that she's basically the Super Bowl she was seen with her man that works for the Eagles?
Is this the same guy that it was like zoomed in really far and it was like Paige and mystery guy or at
she
an
looks
Eagles
like she's in
game?
a relationship already.
She definitely is.
So
Okay.
So
pictures-
like then I'm curious, does she owe Austin an apology? I get that there's nothing more irritating than people who aren't you talking about your life and acting like they know more about you than you. But if they get it right, well, Austin basically like a week ago or so, something like that, tweeted out or
he was
commented,
on Watch
was-
What Happens Live.
Watch What Happens Live, and basically said like the rumors about Paige moving on with her life aren't rumors.
Yeah.
And here she
Well,
is
yeah, that seems to be true, right?
holding
Yeah,
hands
clearly.
with this guy. And then, I don't know, like the internet sleuths, apparently, like Paige took a selfie in what looks like a bedroom. There's a bed behind her, maybe it's a hotel room. And apparently, this is her new man's man purse in the background.
He posted a photo too with a friend in the same room with the same headboard, same carpet.
I'm a little surprised that Paige is dating someone who wears a man purse.
Yeah, so am I. I struggle with
I find that to be shocking.
It's not a man purse. It's like a crossbody satchel.
Even worse.
It's a man purse.
I feel like
it's
that kind of.
it's a crossbody and it's close to a fanny pack.
I feel
Yeah.
like it kind of sounds like a little on point though that she would want a man that accessorizes. And also, I just need to clarify, he doesn't work for the Eagles. He's a senior vice president of football marketing at Clutch Sports.
Okay.
Either way, Paige seems like she wants us talking about her. I mean, she's not hiding it.
It's not subtle.
It's not subtle. And like she has the right to date, but like, people are going to have their opinions, especially when Craig has a broken heart.
Yeah. Well,
Good for her.
it's interesting too, because on the other side of the cast, Lindsay Hubbard unfollowed her mans. So I don't know what that
They
means.
were just at a pediatrician appointment together.
Well, she doesn't follow him, so
Oh, maybe they're still co-parenting.
How do we know they're at a pediatrician appointment together?
Well, she posted a picture being like a baby's 2-month appointment or whatever, and a man was holding her. I would imagine the man holding her would be the father of the baby.
Maybe it's Paige's new man.
Or it's her
Who knows?
pediatrician.
Yeah, could be a pediatrician.
or maybe he deleted his Instagram.
Was there a
then?
man purse also in the background of that photo?
No man purse, but it was giving like lobby of pediatrician, dad holding baby
Okay.
about to go back is what it was giving. But
That man has the size of Craig. Can that be Craig from the back?
what?
No, I feel like
This
Craig's
man looks
taller.
way- yeah,
He's
this man
kinda
looks
small.
short.
Oh, you
Paige
think-
is very tiny.
You're right. Paige isn't that tall. You're
And
right,
she
it
might
is.
be wearing wedges, but like the fact that that's her in heels and that's his thing.
And those clothes do look very baggy on him. He's drowning in it.
In other interesting news, I guess, Mormon wives, Jen Affleck, pregnant.
Shocking.
Congrats.
It's a little shocking.
Yeah.
I was
What's-
not expecting that.
What's the storyline?
I don't
He's
know.
you
like-
can't leave me.
It was a
Truly.
surprise, but they're very excited about it, is
Oh,
the
okay.
storyline.
But it's weird because it's like their social media presence very much makes it like, are they, aren't they? Doesn't seem like she posts with him or like she doesn't post at all really anymore. And then all of a sudden it was like not wearing a ring in videos.
I think I really struggle with Mormon wives because I can see how hard they're working to get people to watch season 2. And it's like, it's very transparent to me. And it's like hard for me to believe anything that they say or do. When they're like, oh, they unfollowed each other. Oh my God, these two are beefing. It's like, y'all are really just trying to get that. It's
Well, I mean-
hard for me to find it believable.
I mean, I'm with you in the sense that I think they're professionals. I don't think it's as subtle as they think it is. I think maybe it's more subtle for other people. But I mean, it's just a very popular show. I don't think they're like desperately doing it. I just think they're doing it because they know how to keep the people interested. I mean, I want to see how Jen Affleck and Zach, how they went from
possibly divorced.
Either whether I don't know what was true or whether they were leaning in, but that looked like a really broken relationship when we had Jen come in. She called her husband a narcissist.
Right? She got like a new apartment, was like being videoed with no ring, and then like not posting at all, falling off the face of the earth. And then it was just like, here's an ad every once in a while. Like, didn't expect like the next thing to be like, and I'm pregnant.
But also, I'm like, are we the issue? Like, did she just post a video in her friend's house and we made up the narrative of buying a new house? You know what I mean?
Because she was going back and forth with like wearing a ring and not wearing a ring.
That's
And the
what
amount of times that I like don't for like I only wear my band and like won't wear my engagement ring around the house. And like if people, I don't know, I'm sure people see that and be like, why isn't she wearing her engagement ring?
But maybe it was being cleaned. I'm like, are we the
yeah,
issue?
it's like maybe like the problem. Honestly, most of the times I think we are.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I do know she was sitting right there on that couch, and I was like, "Do you think your husband's a narcissist?" And she was like, "Yeah, totally." And that's something.
Yep.
So
Well,
We need a Love is Blind season in Utah. That doesn't exist, right?
No.
Like that would pop up.
why haven't they got
That's
that?
true.
Well, we do have Love is Blind Minnesota debuting. Minneapolis debuts tomorrow, so we'll start covering that next week. We'll do the first 3 episodes on Tuesday, and then the rest of the batch on Wednesday. So if you're following along with us, be sure to watch that this weekend. Up next, we have Kelley O'Hara. You may know her from the Olympic women's soccer team. Also, she had an appearance on Ben Higgins' season of The Bachelor. She and her fellow co-star made an appearance hosting a soccer date. Anyway, she's with us to talk a little Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Co-star or like teammate?
Alex Morgan, her teammate, was also there.
Co-star. Her teammate, co-star. They're all stars. Everyone's a star.
They're very
Anyways,
talented.
she's up next to talk about Beverly Hills Housewives, Traitors, and then later on, along with Kelley, Boston Rob's going to zoom in to give us a little bit more of the tea on...
My 16-year-old self is quaking.
Yeah.
not quaking.
Me too.
I got to say, Rob,
Legend.
he really is a reality TV star by the truest sense of the words. Up next, Kelley O'Hara.
There are a few things in this world that I swear by. One of them is Nutrafol. I've taken it for years now, and my hair was in the best state it had ever possibly been in when I was consistently taking Nutrafol. And then I got pregnant. I gave birth. I was really, really nervous about postpartum, and thank God I had Nutrafol because it saved me and my hair. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement trusted by over 1 million people, seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Everyone's root causes of hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth just doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, such as postpartum, menopause, as well as different lifestyles such as plant-based diets. Physician formulated with 100% drug-free ingredients, Nutrafol supplements support visibly thicker, stronger hair from within by targeting root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, aging, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism as they evolve throughout a woman's life. Building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required, automated deliveries, and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with the Nutrafol subscription, you'll save up to 20%. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctor consults, and Headspace meditation membership is included. I have got my mom onto this. She raves about it. I've gotten a lot of my friends who have gone through postpartum on it, and they rave about it. I can't say enough things. Nutrafol is a brand that I trust with my whole heart. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code VIALL. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code VIALL. There's nothing worse than waking up on a beautiful day and finding a zit that has formed overnight.
I do like popping her pimples. but
Okay.
anyways.
You don't have pimples to pop because I've been taking Apostrophe. Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne and dermatology treatment for your unique skin. Feeling confident in your skin starts with getting expert care. Whether you're dealing with acne, signs of aging, or dark spots, Apostrophe helps you get access to the right treatments for your skin.
Through Apostrophe, you get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear acne. Simply fill out an online consultation about your skin goals and medical history, then snap a few selfies, and a dermatology provider will create a customized treatment plan just for you. No longer do you have to wait weeks, maybe even sometimes months to get into your dermatologist. You simply just have to sign up for Apostrophe.
Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, even back, chest, and butt acne. Treat breakouts from head to toe.
We have a special offer for our audience. Get your visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/VIALL when you use our code VIALL. That is a savings of $15. This code is only available for our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/VIALL and click to get started. Then use our code VIALL to sign up, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode. Kelley, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
We're very excited to have you.
I'm stoked to be here.
How have you been? What's new?
I retired from soccer.
How long ago?
That happened in the fall. So
recently.
Yeah.
Has that been kind of a huge life adjustment for you?
Yes, yeah. It has. But I had a
Are you
bit
okay?
of-
You want to talk about it?
No, we don't have to get into it. But no, I'm actually surprising. I had a long time to process it because I kind of saw the writing on the wall just because of some physical things, like my knee's not great, and I had a doctor tell me you need to retire like 2 years ago. So I had time, but I am surprised, like pleasantly surprised with how much I've enjoyed the other side. Like I'm officially done, and people keep asking like, how are you doing? Because the teams are back in together, and I think they're worried.
okay?
Yeah, they're like worried about, how I would be handling right now. And I'm like, I'm actually really good. So yeah,
Okay.
life's good. And I
How-
can't believe I did it for so long. Now knowing the other side.
How long were you a
Professional
professional?
soccer player. I started in 2010, so 14, 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was soccer something your parents put you in at a really young age and you kind of grew up playing?
I started playing soccer when I was 4.
4.
Yes. Little we called it Muppet soccer in Georgia. I'm from Georgia, by the way.
In
Yeah.
Santa.
I know.
Wow.
So I started playing that, but I played a ton of sports growing up, which I'm so
Right.
thankful that mom and dad had me do that. But soccer ended up being the one that like won out, and I think
Okay.
the best at, and therefore
You
did.
enjoy the most.
Our
Yeah.
daughter just started walking.
Okay, and have you put a ball at her feet yet?
Now I got her a soccer ball. for
Smart.
It's in her
Day.
Valentine's Day basket, so she
Oh,
hasn't gotten it yet, but she
precious.
did pick it out at Target.
I love that. Does it have
No.
little? Is it like red and white, or like have hearts on there? Or is
It's
it just
all
a-
pink.
Oh, beautiful!
It's like neon pink.
Oh my gosh!
know.
I didn't really. I mean, I guess I haven't like it's my first kid, so I haven't really.
Yes. Yeah.
I've seen babies walk before, but I haven't really paid this much attention. When a kid learns to walk for the first time,
Yeah.
it's as if they learn how to fly.
Meaning?
Truly.
She's really getting confident.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago was just a couple steps.
Yes.
And now she'll like, I'm just gonna have to show you. I don't know
Okay,
how else
yeah.
to do it, but like she'll walk, and then she like will just turn around and like as if she's flying. And
Right,
she,
right,
like,
right.
There's no like real direction of why she's doing it, but like it's like if you learned how to fly, you would zig and you would zag
True,
and you would go up and you would go down, and
Yeah.
her energy in her face is like, I can't believe I can do this all of a sudden. She's
Right.
like, I'm gonna go left, I'm gonna go right, I'm gonna turn in circles. It's pretty great.
Yeah, she's like, I can literally do anything.
I think she's pretty athletic.
I was gonna ask, does the walking look athletic? Because I feel like you can kind of tell early on.
Who knows? Maybe I'm just.
I was
like,
gonna say, is that dad bias?
it definitely could be dad
Okay.
bias,
Yes.
but like she's giving athlete.
Okay,
She
we love
is.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
she's-
exciting.
She's very determined. She likes to pull herself up. Today it was a little scary because like she stood up in her high chair.
Oh, you didn't? She wasn't because you haven't had to
well,
strap her in yet.
Well, at first it was like she didn't know how to stand up, and
Right.
like we were always by her with the high chair. Like so, yeah. And we're about to get parent shamed out there, but we weren't buckling her in. We are now.
That's fair. You didn't have
Um,
to. You didn't have to.
Well, yeah. So she's a very determined young lady. So
But it will be interesting to see like what kind of thing she
Takes
like,
to.
gravitates to and takes to. It was a red soccer ball at the park that made her walk through sand for the first time.
Okay.
So I was like, that was motivating enough for
Totally.
you. So that's why I got her the soccer ball. But she has a little basketball net and she knows how to put the basketball in
Okay.
the net. So I think we're off to a good start. Maybe we'll have a Kelley O'Hara on our hands.
we can only
Who
hope.
knows?
Yeah.
We can only hope.
You can only be so
truly.
lucky, you know?
You can
Yeah.
only-
So,
so lucky.
rumor on the street is you filled up your retirement with watching some of our favorite programming.
Yeah, so I got into reality TV. Well, I've always been a reality TV fan, but I got into Bravo because of my sweetie pie. She got me into Bravo during COVID.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because she watched Housewives, and I was like, I don't get it, like I'm not interested. But then when you had so much time in your hands, let's get into it.
yeah.
And I have been a fan since.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite franchise?
I think Beverly Hills is the most entertaining. New York this season has gotten better. I enjoyed the originals, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
the
it's
OGs.
but it's nice to because I got in so late that I didn't know all of the past history and drama. So it's nice to okay, I can start from the beginning. That's easier. I love Summer House, Southern Charms, very good. Winter House I thought was quite entertaining as well, but they're obviously not doing
Have
it
you been
anymore.
watching Salt Lake City?
So I didn't watch it a ton, and it's so funny. She'll put it on, and I'm like, and she's like, you got to watch. I'm like, I watched in the beginning of Salt Lake because it was a new one, so it was easy to enter. I didn't
So
have
you
to know.
entered and gave up on it.
A little bit, but I also think I have a little bit of I'm pretty bad at focusing, so I just get attention is not held sometimes.
Well, last night's episode, did you watch?
Salt Lake?
Yeah, no, Beverly Hills.
Oh, yes, I did. I actually watched it in the car because I fell asleep last night watching Southern Charm in bed, but I did watch Beverly Hills.
Did Sutton's mom remind you of anyone
Georgia?
in your family?
Well, it's funny. I'm like, you can tell that she loves Sutton so much, but she's just like a hard ass,
Mhm.
you know? And there were certain things where she would say something and it would almost be like, is that a slight? Like, is that rude? But she's joking.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, has like a little bit of a smirk, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I feel it was a heavy episode.
Heavy.
Really
I was
heavy.
triggered.
Same. I was like, I might start crying in the car and like I put on mascara.
I'm very much Team Miss Reba.
You are.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
The Garcelle
Oh,
of it all.
God, I was so triggered by that.
Were you? You don't think Garcelle was just trying to almost open the door for Sutton and her mom to have that conversation?
Maybe.
I
don't know.
think that's what she was, because I actually don't think the one at the end their conversation at the end would have happened.
I agree with that.
Mm.
Okay.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
But you're like, Garcelle had no business doing that.
No fucking business
Really?
whatsoever. If
Oh.
I said to Natalie, it was like fast forward, if River makes friends with someone, you know, and regardless of what happens as River gets older, there will be some conflict between our daughter and us. Hopefully we have a healthy relationship, but at some point we'll piss her off. I don't know. She'll have a gripe. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But if one day our daughter brought over some cameras
Oh.
and her TV friend sat Natalie down and on camera started lecturing her about her parenting, if Natalie killed that friend, I would probably be fine with it. Like, that is the most out-of-pocket shit that Garcelle did.
Really?
Sutton
my God,
knew.
Oh.
What?
Sutton knew.
Fine.
Sutton's setting up the table being like,
did she-
Garcelle's outside with my mom.
Did she know?
I'm scared.
No? Did she know exactly?
100%. Sutton knew that she brought Garcelle there for that reason.
Well, when her mom responded, well, I don't think it's any of your business, I literally was like clapping.
It was a great response.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure. But I think, I don't know, what do you...
You know, I think because I see so much of like my family in Miss Reba that I definitely do feel like Garcelle overstepped, especially like, and watching Avi kind of roll his eyes at her. Like, they're in her house. They're in, you know, and he's like acting like she's
I kinda hated him
inconveniencing
there.
Well, they're
them.
technically in Sutton's house.
Mm-hmm.
But who takes care of it? You know, like the mom lives in the
I don't
backyard.
think Reba does.
I know she lives in the backyard. I feel like she takes care of the house more than Sutton does. She's at that
Well,
house,
sure,
I feel like,
yes.
more than Sutton is. So when Reba's like, I don't like that ice, and Avi's like, oh.
It was funny, though.
Yeah, it's like,
of all the things.
yeah.
I just like, you know, maybe I'm a respect your elders kind of guy and she's older and like, yeah, I get it. It's Sutton's house. But like if Sutton has like trauma with her mom, I get it. But like it doesn't give her like Sutton's people permission to come in and kind of give the same energy that Sutton gives her mom.
Also, I see so much of Sutton in her mom.
Yep.
It's like,
And at the end of the episode,
Clear
where
as day.
her mom was like, you turned out being just like me and kind of laughed. I just,
Exactly. No, I think it was Garcelle or maybe it was Kyle who said tree, apple. Like
Yeah.
it's literally,
yeah.
it's so obvious.
And listen, my heart, like it was a heavy episode. And, you know, listen, it's every time there's a heavy episode like this with Mary talking about her son in Salt Lake City, I think there's always these questions about like, you know, should they be talking about this? I've just kind of decided, I think it's very unfair for us as fans to like judge our favorite reality TV stars and pick and choose like what we think is kosher or
To talk
okay to
about.
talk about
Yeah.
or not. When like we demand great entertaining television, and then when they give us like heavy dramatic personal shit where we're watching and be like, I can't believe they're talking about this on TV. I just don't think we're in a position to judge.
I agree, but that's why I am a fan of the Housewives, because I think that they end up talking about things that,
They show up.
that people are uncomfortable and are very real and do happen in the world. And people need to, and that to me is a opening for like a family or friend or relationship to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just like, for me, Garcelle like playing therapist, like trying to
With a therapist?
Yeah.
with a therapist, trying to psychoanalyze her.
Yeah.
Because like if I were to play a therapist, like just as a guest, like it wouldn't surprise me at all if like, you know, don't know a lot of background about Sutton's like upbringing, but it seemed like her dad was struggling with some mental health issues.
Yes.
And some substance issues and things like that. And it sounded like a man, as a Sutton reference, was sick. Wouldn't surprise me at all if maybe like her mom covered for her dad a lot and a lot of issues, and maybe covered for him in ways that maybe like protected his memory. And, you know, who knows? That's definitely a possibility. And when like Sutton's mom was like, you're speaking on things you know nothing about, it really kind of gave that energy of us like, I'm sure Sutton has her opinion and she has her lived experience and she has her feelings, but her mom has her own as well. And I think often our kids grow up and they have a perception of a reality that may not be reality itself. And I don't know, like maybe that's a scenario where like, because Sutton clearly has this adoration for her father who's passed and this clear resentment for her mother, and kind of opened up where she kind of low key, you know, when she was like, there was a gun in the house and blah, 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 like it was giving blame a little bit. And I feel for Sutton, I'm glad she could open up about that, but like clearly this was heavy. And again, knowing all this for Garcelle to walk in there and start being like, we just met. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong as a mother.
Right, but do you think Garcelle knew all of that baggage? I think, again, Garcelle only knew what Sutton's...
I wouldn't walk into a...
You were like, I would know better to not bring that up.
If I were to call out a mom for her, and you know, I would want to know exactly what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Do you think the family who lived in Sutton's hometown knew that her father had killed himself in that room?
That was my first thought when they walked in the door. I was like, do they know?
Right? Like,
so anyways, used to live there.
Yeah.
My dad in that room that y'all love so much. Actually, I mean, I feel like that has to be in.
There's no way
it's got to be in.
There's
like
no way they didn't bring it up.
You close on the house and it's like, and there was a death in here. Like you've got to know that before you buy a house, right?
I don't know.
Don't they have to disclose?
It's like state by state, but I know in California, I think it's like within 3 years of you purchasing it that they have to disclose it. And I think if you ask or if you inquire about it, that they have to disclose.
That's my first question. Any house we've been house shopping, and it's like you go in and it's like, has anyone died here? I need to know that. Has anyone died here? Am I going to be haunted by ghosts?
Do you believe in ghosts?
I think anything's possible.
You've never been in the same room with one?
Well, we did go to this soccer camp, ODP soccer camp in Alabama at Montevallo. Do you know what Montevallo is? Have you heard of it? Yeah. Is it a college? It's a college,
I think
right?
it's like a community college, I think. Maybe.
But that's where the camp happened every year. And word on the street is that it's haunted. So that's my only time that I have been in an area that was potentially haunted. And I will say it was a bit creepy.
Do we know why it was haunted?
I don't know. Allegedly, there's this door that like looks like flames and that a girl might have died in the room and that showed up on the door. I don't know. Listen, fact check me. Who knows?
Being from Savannah, it's like the most haunted city in the United States or something.
Is it?
That's what they say.
My sister had a house downtown Savannah, and there was one room and there was for sure a ghost in there. I mean, like the dog would only bark in a corner of that room. Things would lights would come on, lights would go off. Ghosts are real.
Okay.
Can you bring back your Georgia accent?
Only if I'm in Georgia and I need to like charm somebody.
Why do you feel like you lost it? Do you think it's just like being around?
Both my parents are from Pittsburgh, so I didn't grow up with like a Georgia or a Southern accent, but in growing up in Georgia, I can do it if I need to, and I can bust that out, but we're not going to do it on here. Put on the spot.
All right. What are you making of the whole Paige and Craig breakup?
Well, I just watched Southern Charm last night from, I think, last week, and the farm scene. And I'm like, was that the moment that Paige said, you know what? I'm not interested.
It's not for me.
In having a farm.
Yeah.
And
all the goats like nibbling on her designer shirt.
Yes.
She's like,
like when she started to step away from the bees, I was like, oh, she's out.
She's done here.
Not interested in this at all. And I feel like when they started their relationship, they both wanted the same things, right? Like grow their businesses, really dive in and lean into that aspect of life. And I think that they both have very clearly and have had great success. But I think now Craig is like, I'm at a point where I want a family. I potentially want a farm. I bought bees, and Paige is like, I still want to live in New York City and do my own thing. And I'm not ready for that. And I think that's very fair for both of them.
Yeah.
Him buying bees is
well, he couldn't have chickens, so he went with the bees. I was like,
but that's a move on the chessboard. He was like, I'm going to buy these bees.
That's a commitment. I
Yeah.
mean, like,
I think that was like a passive aggressive move by Craig to be like
Towards Paige?
yeah, like
To be
you
like,
know, 'cause
I'm
just settling down. It's just like, well, you won't if we're not ready to get engaged. Either way, I'm buying something that I have to nurture and take care of.
Right.
And
it's not like,
invest in.
yeah, it's not like he adopted a cat. You
no,
know,
he was like, I mean business, I got bees.
you can't just drop the bees off at a foster, a
True.
humane society.
They need
you know?
they need TLC.
Some might say you could leave the bees, go on vacation, and it would be much easier than a cat.
Yeah, that's true.
But-
That's true.
I don't know. I don't
You could
know
just
much
open
about
the top.
Right.
Beekeeping.
Or just, just
I
Going
think
for
I'm
it,
with you though.
survive.
I think honestly, Paige, that was kind of like at that moment, like just absolutely not.
No, I really was like, I would love to know, like, at what point did she start to be like, this isn't the person and or the relationship that I want to.
Like I wonder if
doing
Honey
anymore.
at this point is triggering for her.
I
Just
love
in general.
Honey.
Have you seen the Summer House trailer yet? There's a scene of Paige and Craig at dinner,
Okay.
and like you can tell it's a heated conversation, and she's just like, "What am I supposed to apologize for being independent and not, like and successful?" Saying like they clearly don't want the same things, but it's
Yeah.
like I think we're seeing the beginning of it, and then we're gonna start seeing that phase where it's like you're trying to talk yourself into it, but also don't have the energy to like pretend.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it.
We do.
We've all
truly.
been
No,
there.
and it's I
just feel for Craig's broken heart. I just know.
Oh, he's for
sad.
sure going through it right now.
Yeah.
He was
And she is moving on. She's moved on.
Yeah.
Like,
she's
holding hands.
But to be fair, if it happened on Thanksgiving, what is today? February, like it's been 2+ months or almost 2 months, right?
Listen. I think people have a right to break up. And
They do,
They have
yes.
the right to move on. Well, I mean, you know, when it comes to public figure breakups, people act like they don't. It's
No,
like
that
there
is,
always
yeah.
has to be a villain, you know. And I
True.
don't think there needs to be a villain. But you know, if you have a very public relationship and you are being public with your dating, moving on is a choice. And
Yes.
I've been in Paige's shoes before, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. I made a different choice to like go out of my way to like not, you know.
I think there
to-
were also 2 breakups. There was the one in November
Right.
and then the one when she announced it on their podcast.
That's a really good point, Natalie.
and it's like he could have healed, and then now to have the whole world know and questioning and seeing her date and seeing all this, it's like he's going through it again.
But wouldn't you say wasn't he seen with somebody or presenting single out in the world, therefore she felt like, okay, well then I'm gonna announce it because
I don't know the details
Yeah.
of that, or if he just was like out and at a bar and there was a picture
Women there.
taken and women there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't know if
They're
that's
like,
the
he's
same
around
as
the opposite sex. He's moved on. He's single.
Where
Yeah.
Paige seems like she's like in a relationship.
you
Like,
think?
I don't know. She's holding hands. Like apparently, she's posting selfies in her bedroom where like his stuff is. You know, the
Oh.
sleuths are sleuthing.
Oh wow, we have the
Yeah.
You
screen.
know,
Okay,
like and
wait.
apparently, like
Joe-
apparently his man purse is in the background.
Who
of
is
that
this man?
Joe D'Amelio.
secret man?
He works in sports marketing for the NFL.
He doesn't want to move to South Carolina.
Okay, does he live in New York?
I think so.
Okay, well, there you go.
Or Philly, or he
Check-
doesn't have honeys.
Check one off the
He
list.
doesn't have honeybees. Yeah.
No honeybees.
Not interested in farm life.
Are you into Southern hospitality at all? Have you gotten into
No,
that?
I haven't.
Were you a Vanderpump Rules?
So I only got into
Vanderpump because of
Scandal.
Scandal.
Yes.
And I had to go back and watch all of the season. Like Scandal happened and Cameron was like, you will not believe what is going on. And so then I had to go back, rewatch it all, listen to all y'all's episodes because I was like, I need to hear what they're thinking, these perspectives, point of view. Insane.
Where did you land? Did you listen to the episode with Tom Sandoval on this?
I think
show?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Wasn't he late or something?
Yeah.
That's what I
Was.
remember the most from that episode because I can't like.
He was
being
late and came
is-
in with the photo of him with the like endangered species tiger in,
What?
like, in, like, hamburgers and, like, framed and was like, "Here you go, Nick." And Schwartz was like, "Absolutely not, absolutely not. Get this out of here." No.
Oh my god, I've been enjoying watching him on Traitors though.
I really am too. Yeah.
Do you think he makes it to the end?
No.
No,
No. No.
not smart enough.
No.
Okay,
No.
Oh.
I think he's gonna make it far enough until I think he will make it farther. Most people think he'll make it because he's not a threat.
right.
Yeah, no one's taking any of his theories seriously.
Although he
so,
did,
but
you know, and-
post Boston Raw,
right.
might
He
change.
shot down the giant,
I
and
don't
it was
know.
all him. He's the only
Yeah.
one who came up with that. You know?
I do think he will
The
not
broken
get.
clocks. You know,
I think he'll get
twice
murdered.
a
I
day.
don't think he'll get voted out.
Who do you
Like,
guys
I think that will be his exit will be
oh.
murdered because he just like won't shut up about Danielle or Carolyn or one of the new traitors, and they'll be like, oh my God, we just got to kill Tom because he just won't shut up about us. Like, I don't think everyone at the round table is going to be like, Tom, you're a traitor. We got to vote you out.
Do you find him in any way endearing?
I did during the bug game
Yeah.
when he was holding hands with Dylan because I like love Dylan. And when he was just, I think it's like when the bugs rain down, they're on his hat, and he's just like,
How would you be with those critters?
I would probably have to keep my eyes closed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it would not. I don't think it would be that.
I was really
enjoyable.
impressed with Dylan.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a man.
Also,
And Sam.
yeah, Sam. Sam was like, cute. Look at that
Smiling.
little tailless scorpion. I've never seen one before. You know, he was so excited
He
about
was
that.
like, look, I think it likes you more than me. It's crawling off my hand.
He was like naming them, wanted to take them home.
It was so sweet.
Oh my god!
I don't know if I could have done that.
Really. Oh,
Yeah.
there's I could do that over like an eating challenge for sure. You know?
Depends
like,
on
eat
yeah,
bugs?
sure.
Yeah, or like on the challenge. That's an
I'd rather have bugs on me than mayonnaise.
Would you rather
Eating mayonnaise.
eat
Oh,
a
then
bug or
eating.
have them on you?
The snake would have the
On
bugs.
me.
The bugs
On
wouldn't have
you.
mattered to me. The snakes, I would have. The big old snake, I would have.
yeah. Do we think Sierra had any idea that it was a snake? You know how her eyes were closed the whole time, and she was just like, "What is it?"
What were the other options?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they thinking? Like
They're
a
like-
weighted blanket? Like, what is it?
Like, we're giving you a neck pillow, a weighted neck pillow
right.
for the airplane ride home.
Feels like a
It
hose.
says Traitors on it.
It moves.
It's
It's
memorabilia.
engraved.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I don't know what else you could think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was
but
moving.
honestly, I feel like in that scenario, ignorance is bliss, and just being like, I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is. If anyone would have said a snake, I probably would have freaked out. But in my own head, I probably would have been telling myself
Weighted.
it's a weighted neck pillow.
Yeah. I mean, I would be under the assumption that the producers would never do anything that would actually harm me. Therefore,
Right.
it is truly just my own fear getting in the way, and I need to get over that.
Would you
I-
ever do special forces?
I would.
Have you been asked?
I have not. So if you know anybody,
I do.
I'm curious. I want to know your thoughts. I listen to
I think you need to go.
really.
Especially someone like you, who
Yeah.
like I don't know you, but I would imagine you're competitive. I
Yeah.
imagine that you like testing your limits and seeing what you're capable of. Now that
Right.
you're retired, maybe there's a void in your life at times, feeling like, you know, pushing yourself to the next level. And like it very much will offer it's a rewarding experience.
Okay.
I'll say that.
No, I
Yeah.
mean it looks very rewarding. It looks
It's
terrible.
literal torture.
Truly.
Make no mistake. It's
Yeah.
not like torture.
No,
or
it's
like-
just-
it's literal torture of them putting you through a real life military simulation.
Were you minute by minute by the end just being like I just gotta
Every
get
minute.
through 1 minute,
1 minute. 5, more like 5. Literal, like if I'm being literal,
5 minute increments?
5 minute
You're like I've
increments.
survived another.
just don't quit.
Do you feel like they had, for instance, me saying I know the producers on Traitors wouldn't put any bugs that are actually going like it's a.
Well, I was just about to.
Do you feel like you did things that you were like I could die?
No, you learn on Special Forces. Bodie Miller, who
Okay.
was on my season.
Yes.
Olympic
Yeah.
downhill
Yep.
skier.
Yeah.
And he was like very helpful because like he kind of does stuff like he was like definitely the dad of the unit.
Mhm.
And he talked about the difference between being scared and being unsafe. Like to know the difference between fear and safety. And so that premise of like we knew we were safe doing these very scary things.
Okay,
And
you
so
did. You did feel safe.
I did feel safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because some of these I'm kind of like that could go.
There's been injuries.
The one where this season where they jumped off the bridge and then it
Yeah.
caught without any slack.
Yeah.
I'm like, did they all get whiplash? Are they okay? And then they started to swing. I'm like, you go a little bit of degree off from the path. You're hitting.
It's not without risk, but for the most part, I did feel safe.
Okay.
And
Well, that makes me feel
That
better.
the challenges, that was the fun part.
So the miserable part was like what, sleeping at night?
No, because
food.
they don't show a lot of like even like the boat races or like the endurance stuff. They're showing a fraction of it. It looks like you're watching 10 minutes. It was 3 hours. You're waking up at 7 a.m. and until midnight, you're going 150%.
Did you train for it?
I had like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So not really. I mean, I basically was working out 3 days a week and I like upped it to like 4 days a week. But I wasn't
This'll
like,
do it.
Yeah.
I didn't really do any training. Like a week before I started taking like cold baths
Oh.
to try to like, but I was hyperthermic for 3 days in a row.
What do you mean?
on day 5, they woke up and like did this, what they call a bee sting, and they, the obstacle course,
Yep.
and they had to like jump in freezing water. And there was a scene where Aaron had to put me in the hot shower. They flipped it around and made it seem like it was at night when I was in the morning. But from that moment on, I
Could not warm up.
I couldn't warm up because they're also decreasing your calories throughout the week.
Oh my God.
So you're
I
working
love food.
yeah, no, and it's prison. That was the hardest part. It's
Prison
prison,
food.
like it's prison food. It's disgusting prison food. There's no comfort. There's no. It's literal, like, and it's a test of your will. It's a test.
How many days?
8 to 10, depending
Okay.
on the course. But
I
they'll
like I
be.
could.
People act like they're every time it's only 8 days. It's 8 days of pure torture.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Even watching from home, I'm like, this looks miserable.
Yeah, and you can leave whenever you want.
Do you think hot version or cold version is harder?
Well, I was hypothermic, and that really sucked.
Yeah, tough.
I would say the cold version. The thing with the heat, though, it's like one of those things, like the heat can catch up on, like if you don't hydrate enough and something happens, you could get like medically withdrawn.
Right.
If all of a sudden you get heat stroke or something, like, so I think that could put someone at risk of like it catching up with you quicker. But
Were you ever at risk because you were hypothermic?
the doctor called me in once and was like, "Are you okay?"
Buddy, you need to warm up.
And
Yeah.
they were just like, "Is it going to get harder?" But they checked in with me.
Okay.
But they.
How much running did you have to do? See, this is me just quizzing you. I just want to know.
It was a lot of run.
It
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
because I can't really run anymore, so I might not.
It's you're running with a 40-pound backpack.
Yeah, that
Yep.
probably would make it even more difficult.
Yeah. That part's hard. So you're not like sprinting, but you're
Yeah.
you're
I
always
can kind of shuffle.
yeah.
if I need to.
There was never like an all out. It's like always
They
a
just want to
jog.
see you do the best that you can. They
Right.
just don't want to see you like trying to slack out
That's
of
true, yeah.
anything.
It's
So
like,
it's
I-
like
It's
if
also-
you're
it's
like, I
literally about
can't
not quitting.
sprint, but like I'm
I
doing
can
the
move.
best I
I'm
can.
moving.
Then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm
they'll
on
yell
my
at
way
you, but
from-
they definitely won't like disqualify you for not sprinting.
No, it's definitely one of the shows that I would be interested in. That and Traitors. I would love to go on. You need to go on Traitors. I heard you saying that they hit you up last year, right?
They've hit me up
a couple times.
couple times,
All
but
right, why not?
well, up until this point, it's been tough with
True,
the
true,
show.
true.
I'm busy, and
You have a 1-year-old.
Natalie was
Mhm.
pregnant. Yeah, it just hasn't been easy to
Yeah.
get away. Someday, I hope I get the chance where it works out for both parties.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it together.
That would be so fun. I would love that.
Would you rather be a traitor or a faithful?
I would be the worst traitor in the entire
You
world.
think?
I don't think I'd be a good traitor. I think I would be much better at catching.
Yeah.
Same. I think that I can reason, but maybe it's because I'm sitting on the couch knowing who the traitors are. I'm like, obviously
Right.
it's this
Yeah, yeah,
reason that they're doing it.
Yeah, I
you
think there's
know?
a lot. From a viewer standpoint, I think they're making us feel smarter than we should be.
For sure. And then you
watching
get in
this.
there and it's probably just a mind fuck.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what every time we interview one, that's kind of what they say when we're like, it's so obvious, Danielle. And they're like, it's really not.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we've definitely thought her a few times,
Right.
but like, it's not as obvious. In
To
the
be fair
house.
though, Danielle is more obvious than Carolyn right now.
Oh, 100%.
But only because we know.
No, because of some of the things that she's done during the
Mhm.
competitions. When she like didn't pick herself for the picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what are
But
we
again,
doing?
we all
Didn't
know
need to
that
give
she's
herself.
a traitor, so we're
But
watching
even-
that through the lens of why
but
would you
even
do that if you're a
they
traitor?
were like, no, that was suspicious. Why didn't she? But then
nobody went down
Yeah.
that
Just-
path.
But keep in mind, editing.
True,
Where they're
yeah.
going back and all of these, like, yeah, she did that, are in these post-moment interviews, like we call
Oh,
them
that's true.
ITMs,
That's a good point.
So they're going
Mm.
back and interviewing him and like, isn't it suspicious that like Danielle was crying and like, oh no, only saving herself? They're like, yeah, it was suspicious. Like,
oh, you're like, what's happening. You've been in this position. So you're like, the producers are feeding them these questions. Yeah.
Like, potentially.
Right,
I'm
right.
just saying we don't know that's not the case. And everyone we have talked to, and we'll talk to Boston Rob in about 20 minutes if you have time. You can
Oh my
stick around.
God. I
with
would
Rob with
love
us.
to just even sit in the room and hear what he has to say.
But yeah, the feedback has been like, we had no fucking clue it was Danielle. And yeah, you all think that like we should have known,
Right.
but like she really had us, fooled.
I can't believe you don't think you'd be a good traitor. I actually think you'd be really good at it.
I don't like to lie.
Me either. I would
I'm
crumble.
I'm not a good liar. I've said this on this show before, and people were like, "But you did the best in the interrogation at Special Forces." It's like, that's not like not the same.
Yeah, you're like
But,
playing a role, which I guess my thing when I first started watching Traitors, the way I thought, I was like, wow, this is kind of messed up. Like people are actually able to lie face to face
Mhm.
with people, just you're just lying the whole time if you're a traitor. But then I was like, no, they're playing a game, Kelley. Like that is the game. And if you get tapped to be a traitor, you then have to be like, to win this game, the only thing I can do is lie.
Yeah, you have to think of it as like, I am an Oscar-winning actress.
Correct.
And I'm filming a movie.
This is my moment.
Yes.
And I will shine.
Yes. Not like I'm lying to my closest loved ones.
Yes. No, that's exactly.
I would be curious how I could do as a traitor, but I would have a lot of fun hunting the traitors.
I feel like I'd be way calmer if I was a faithful. If I was a traitor, I would be so stressed the whole time. I would be thinking, I'm like, did I do something that they now think they saw me scratch my ear and like turn left,
Not to pivot, because we'll jump back to traitors when we have Boston Rob on. Can we go back to Beverly Hills Housewives for a second? Like, where do you land on Dorit and PK's divorce, specifically around the friendship with Kyle?
Right.
Because after last night's episode, it's really getting messy. Like
the divorce.
The divorce. Like, I thought this was like, first I was like, okay, they're separating for the show.
Oh, you thought?
I didn't really know. Anything's possible in TV world.
Sure.
And then we have Mo and Kyle, like they are getting divorced, but they're still like keeping the family together. That's always very confusing. Every time they get together, we're like, why can't they get back together? Because they're always so civil and
they are so cute
and thinking about the family. I don't know, like up until like the past 2 episodes, it turns out that like I thought PK was just like the manager of Boy George, and he's wearing tracksuits and like trying to embezzle money from England. And then next thing you know, you got Garcelle and Bose. But no, who was the one who told Dorit to like that PK is buying up all the lawyers in LA?
Oh, that was Bose.
That was Bose.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was, where does PK have this power to like to get all the divorce?
I know. I was like,
in LA?
that seems expensive.
Yeah.
How many does he need?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what? That wouldn't even cross my mind. I will say I have appreciated how outspoken Erica has been, or just she's tried to help Dorit in this time and giving her advice.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly necessary. I don't know if I'm just like missing something, but the 10-year mark is coming up. And he's trying to divorce her before that because they have a prenup in place, and he wants that prenup to be what decides the divorce or not.
My understanding, just watching the show,
right?
So we're both going off what the show, but my recollection of that scene was apparently in the state of California, I don't know this to be true, that regardless of whatever prenup you have, that if you are married for 10 years or more,
split
50-50.
Right.
Because California in general is one of 2 states, Wisconsin and the other one, it's a 50-50. Like, basically every state has their own prenuptial laws. Like,
yes,
if you don't have a prenup,
you have a prenup. It's just
you have a prenup. It's just by state. And California says you get married immediately, everything is 50-50. In California, it's like you can have a prenup, but if you make it 10 years, you got to follow our rules, is my understanding of what they said. And apparently they're coming up on their 10-year mark.
But my question is, who's that in favor for if they were to end up
does he want her money?
Yeah.
Or
I'm like, is he drawing this
she's
out?
getting his money?
I don't know, because she is a Beverly Hills Housewives. They all like to pretend that these people don't have jobs, but like I would guess the Beverly Hills Housewives are probably some of the highest paid housewives.
I would think so.
In Bravo Nation, or just Bravo talent in general. And again, like I know PK like manages Boy George, but what does this man? What does he do? Doesn't it, like the past 2 episodes, make the relationship between PK and Kyle like that much more like what the fuck?
If they're still texting, yeah.
Dorit and Kyle are supposed to be friends, and I get that like Kyle and PK have become friends over the years of this marriage. You still have Mo and PK hanging out, but if PK really is playing dirty and trying to screw his wife and his, and just, go to the mattresses, as they say, like that seems really fucked up that Kyle is maintaining this relationship with PK while PK is trying to basically screw over his wife financially.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I think what's funnier is that that wasn't funny. I don't know why I said that. Is that Dorit at that dinner, and this is why I'm like, maybe Kyle doesn't realize how bad it is. One, I don't think she does realize maybe the dirtiness playing whatever behind the scenes between Dorit and PK that's happening, but Bose and Erica being like, honey, he's placating, like he is trying to calm you down
for you. Yeah.
to catch you off guard, to then take you for all, like, but again, I'm like, who's trying to get divorced quicker?
PK.
It sounds like PK.
It sounds like PK's trying to get divorced quicker because he's trying to not go over the 10 years.
Right.
And he said
This
in
is
a
all
text.
speculation.
No, this is what he said. That was said on the show that he was that he texted her saying like, "I want you to be able to take over the house and the kids, whatever it is, within like the next couple of months. That you're fully responsible for it." And that's a text message that he sent to Dorit. So that says to me like, I'm trying to separate our finances, trying to separate any responsibility that I have with you. So therefore, we are separated, going straight into divorce. At the same time, I don't know if it's possible because I feel like getting a divorce in California is like one of the harder things to move along. Like I feel like it's always like a year or so out.
Like if someone wants to delay it, they can.
Yeah,
right?
but you can't get like an expedite on divorce. Like
If he was to serve her divorce papers before the 10 years, does that
constitute I don't
right? Like,
know,
does that
yeah.
mean that they beat the 10-year mark?
Was that not the most confusing conversation to follow?
Which
with
one?
Dorit being like, we had a conversation
And he was normal PK.
Yeah, and it was like, no, he didn't say that. It was they were saying that, and then the kids were. Nick and I
It
were
was
like,
very
do you
confusing.
follow what the fuck they're talking about? It
Well,
was
I
the
didn't even
most
pick up on
confusing
that.
story ever. But then finally, they were like, no. When they broke it down, of like, he is trying to like corner you and calm you down so that you don't strike back. It all made sense, but for a while there, I was like, whoa. Whoa.
Did they get divorced?
Yeah,
What's
where are they now?
Yeah, like, is it present time?
And also, when was their wedding date?
Oh, good question. Look it up. Is that public information?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
It's got to be.
Gotta be.
They got married in New York March of 2015 and separated in May of 2024.
So they're not divorced yet,
Mm-mm.
but
So
they're
they
coming
have-
up on it.
But
they have a month.
till March.
March is 10
And again, we
years.
don't know if it's for the benefit of PK or the benefit of Dorit, but we're assuming PK doesn't want to split 50-50.
Well, these actions, again, we're all going off what we're learning from reality TV, so who knows?
Yes.
But that is suggesting that his actions are suggesting he wants to avoid this 10-year mark.
Yes.
And who knows what PK is worth? I don't know. Again, I'm a big believer that if you wear a full tracksuit and you're not an athlete and you're a white old guy, then you're probably an organized crime.
He also has Dorit will be his second ex-wife.
No?
I mean,
He has
you might be onto something.
he has an ex-wife and 3 children with somebody else that he also only stayed married to for 9 years, but she's in England.
No.
So I don't think they have the same like
History's
statute of
repeating
limitation.
itself.
But yeah, he stayed
He's
married
got how many
This
kids with
is
Dorit?
a
3. Or he's got 2 kids with
Eerie.
Dorit and 3 with his ex-wife.
Wow, talk about dropping a bomb.
You know, somebody's got to.
Is that why is that why he goes to London a lot?
Oh no.
To see his other kids?
You're also onto something.
Because they never talk about that.
Are we all
She lives in
detectives here?
England.
Well, either way, him and Mo are still like best friends.
Well, that part of the episode was Mo was leaving for Europe, was going to go to meditation, and then like go party with PK in the south of France. And they're like, okay.
Well, PK's seeing the type of women that Mo's hanging out with, and he's like, I want some of
yeah,
that.
PK's like, I
action.
will
Yeah.
be attending that trip.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
acts
my
like he is equivalent.
He's like, when we're going to
Mo.
Aspen, Mo? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, not this time, PK. Oh, jeez.
anything else you're watching, enjoying? Are you watching Severance?
No.
Oh, Kelly.
Is it
Get into it.
good?
You haven't seen it at all?
Dark, right?
No.
Really?
Dark? No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
It's
could
a little
be
mind
interested.
trippy.
Okay.
It's fascinating.
I like mind trippy.
Yeah. In no way dark. Not yet, right? No? Have you? Have anyone seen it?
Nobody?
I don't
No.
think dark.
No? Okay, good.
I don't
mean,
watch
like
it.
a few moments of like, ooh.
Give it 3 episodes. You're going to have, because at
But it's
first.
season 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to watch season 1.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that.
It's a no phone show.
Oh.
You
It's
really
a,
need to pay
not
attention.
Gotta be locked
scroll-
in.
Yeah. Yep.
Locked in.
locked
I'm
in.
able
Yeah.
to do that if I know that. I
Yeah.
can
Because
commit to
the overall premise is super bizarre and weird, and
Yeah,
they
isn't
kind of
it?
they kind of slow. They introduce the premise early on, but you're kind of like, I still don't really understand what this means. And
Okay.
basically every episode from the episode 1 to like season, like now we're like in episode 4, season 2, is like more information of like what this concept means in this world, and it's just kind of a mind fuck.
Cool.
And by kind
Pretty
of, it's
good.
awesome.
I could be interested.
You should
Pretty
watch
good.
it.
Okay.
Highly
All right.
recommend.
She's shaking her head. She knows I won't commit. I'm
know-
like I'm classic for starting a TV show and then never finishing it.
Ugh,
What's your
God, you're
favorite
sick.
like scripted show that you really got into that you've
The only ones that I've watched from start to finish are like Gossip Girl,
Yep.
Okay.
Entourage.
Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like, was that high school for me?
Yeah.
No. Was it? Oh God.
We
yeah.
can
When was
ignore
it? When did it come out? Ah. Ah. Ah.
2007.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was in college.
Who are your faves?
Ed Westwick, is that his
Yep.
name? But
Oh,
what?
yeah.
How?
Chuck Bass.
I was
What?
in a-
What?
I was
What
in
a
a Rumble
character!
class with him once.
How was he? Good.
I didn't really pay much
Oh,
attention.
you guys didn't spar?
No, we're both hitting bags.
Okay.
You know, but
You were like, come on, Chuck, let's get in the ring.
I didn't watch Gossip Girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Surprisingly
Was it? Didn't
British.
interest you?
I guess I didn't really know about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I guess
I feel like it was
playing
skewed.
with the worms.
No, Nick was like 50 when it came out.
There you
so
go.
it's like you definitely
That's
wasn't
mean.
his.
I was a junior in high school.
Do you have any opinion what's going on with the whole Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively?
Literally, I feel like there's so many things that are coming out that I'm like, I'm gonna let them handle it.
Okay.
I'm
Sure.
gonna,
I'll be here when it's
I'm going
over.
to when you guys get to the end of this, I would love to have a recap
Okay.
and understand how we got to
Got it.
the last square.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it just
will
seems
take a while to get there.
Yeah.
There definitely is a lot, and I think there will continue to be more and
Oh,
more
yeah, I
just
forgot. Blake Lively. Yeah, that makes sense.
more and more information. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
that
the only
was-
reason
yeah,
why I
yeah,
asked.
yeah,
It's
true,
the
true,
only reason why I asked, but it's kind of real topic.
It just seemed messy from the beginning, and it's just getting messier. And I don't get it. I'm like, I just.
It is interesting that a judge like ordered Justin and his team to like shut the fuck up.
Oh, did he?
He was like,
See,
"We
I'm
will
not
never."
even-
He's like, "We will never get a jury that is like unbiased if you keep
Oh, right.
putting stuff out there. Like
Yeah.
you've got to stop. It's got to like
Mhm.
all be in court."
I'm just kind of surprised that everyone's really ignoring the fact that he clearly like hired a crisis PR team to do exactly what's being done online to like basically destroy her, and everyone's just kind of focusing on if like Blake's kind of like difficult to work with.
Really?
You know, the internet
Kinda
doesn't
wild.
love a woman. You know, so
Exactly.
pretty easy for
No,
the
like,
internet to
but
be like,
there's a new clip going around, and it's like from a couple years ago or something, and it's like it's just like a Forbes conference or something. Something like that, and she's talking about her career, and Justin's team's narrative is basically like, you know, she tried to take over the project. She gave her opinions when it wasn't wanted or something. That's kind of the narrative.
I'm sorry.
It's wild. No, she took over. You know, even though like. You know, Kurt Russell famously like directed Tombstone when he didn't direct it, and everyone sings his praises. But anyways, so like in this conference, Blake's like talking about how like, you know, as a actor in Hollywood and as a woman, she at times like struggled to like feel like people valued her opinion, and she kind of had to speak up and assert herself, you know, to be heard. And now that's being used against her, and people are like, see, tried to take over the project. Meanwhile, there's like this ET interview of Justin Baldoni from a couple months ago talking about like playing this character Viall, who like his character is an abusive.
Yes, I read the book, hated
Partner.
it. That's why I think I just was like, I'm not participating in this movie, in anything.
I don't.
And in this
Hated
interview,
it.
Justin's basically describing method acting. He's talking about how as this character,
method
he took these chances, and he's telling on himself, describing like, I didn't run this by Blake. I just decided to like lean in. And he was like, and then sometimes I would get this like uncomfortable look from Blake, and then I would know. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
And he's like describing the very thing that she's accusing him of, and no one's paying attention to that. Meanwhile, everyone's like, yep, see, she tried to take over the project because like she wanted to be heard. Anyways, we are definitely in the minority right now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because you guys are team Blake.
I'm not team Justin.
Got it. Okay.
But I think you have a healthy approach. That, like,
Right.
I think
Being
from
like,
between
let me just
now,
wait till the end.
between now and then, I think there's just going to be more and more mess, and like we'll just have to wait
Yeah.
to see if it actually goes to trial.
Rosetta Stone is the leading language learning program where listeners embark on their journey of personal growth. Learn naturally, speak confidently. Rosetta Stone helps you absorb a language the way you learned your first through real-world context and conversations. No memorization, just practical skills you can use right away. My aunt Dana, lives in Spain. She has 2 daughters and a husband, and they all live in Spain. And I felt like I was on the outskirts of my family because I could not speak Spanish. But thankfully, I got Rosetta Stone. I invested some time, and now I know some Spanish.
No English teachers translation, so you can truly learn to speak, listen, and think in your chosen language. It has an intuitive learning process to start with words, build to phrases, and progress to full sentences. Designed for long-term retention, so what you learn sticks with you. The built-in true accent speech recognition technology provides real-time feedback, helping you sound more natural. Rosetta Stone fits your lifestyle with flexible, on-the-go learning. Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. The Viall listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/VIALL to get started and claim your 50% off today. Don't miss out. Go to rosettastone.com/VIALL and start learning today. The world's full of vitamins out there, but how do you know what vitamins to take for yourself? And how do you know if they're even like good for you? Did you know that all vitamins aren't created equal? That a lot of vitamins have a bunch of crap in them that's not good for you. There's a lot of things in vitamins that you don't want to put in your body. And that's why it's important to go with a vitamin company that is conscious about what they put in everything they're giving you, like Symbiotica. Being healthy is all about balance and getting the nutrients that your body needs. If you're a regular listener, you know all about our love for Symbiotica here at the Viall Files. Some of our favorites are their magnesium L-threonate that enhances memory, focus, and learning, and it has a great vanilla cream taste. Their liposomal vitamin C, love that. Vitamin C is so important for your immunity. It's just like, it's good for your skin. It's just good for you. It bolsters immunity. It comes in a great citrus vanilla flavor, and their activated charcoal promotes detoxification and also tastes great. They have also, my favorite thing about Symbiotica is their travel size packs, because if you were like, if you try to get any type of vitamin regimen, if you travel at all, it's really, like you don't want to take all the bottles and things like that. But the travel packs are super easy, super convenient, and tailor-made just for you. Only takes 30 seconds a day to get all the nutrients you need. They have a formula to support your health goals, everything from energy, digestion, immunity, and mood. Symbiotica is one of the most trusted brands out there. They never compromise on quality and sourcing. Their products are free from seed oils, preservatives, toxins, and artificial additives. It's something you can taste and feel in every packet. And that's why we partner with Symbiotica, and we love partnering with Symbiotica, and we have a very special offer just for our listeners. Go to symbiotica.com/VIALL for 20% off plus free shipping. That's Symbiotica, CYMBIOTIKA.com/VIALL to claim 20% off plus free shipping today.
I started a show with Just Women Sports. It just launched. Sports are fun. We launched 2 weeks ago. And a big part of like the format and how we set it up is based on this, because I really enjoy how this has evolved. And it's multiple perspectives and voices talking about pop culture, but we obviously talk about sports. So we set it up in a way to have I have a dedicated co-host, and Grady Diaz. She's very basketball. I'm obviously soccer. We hired an intern, BJ Beckwith. He's like a star. He's in fashion. He's not even like in sports, but loves women's sports. So yeah, that's why I was like, I love y'all's show, just how it's set up. And then we pulled elements from it to make ours. Which,
I'm flattered.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you that.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it really works for us.
yeah, I think it's great. That's why I enjoy listening, because so many are
Is it
like
out now?
Yeah. It launched
Wanna
2 weeks
plug it?
ago. Yeah. Sports are fun.
Sports are fun.
Subscribe, follow. It's on Just Women's Sports channels, and it's our weekly studio show covering women's sports. Comes out every Tuesday.
Can you find it on Apple,
Apple,
Spotify?
yep. It's on YouTube. It's on anywhere you can find or listen to your podcasts. And we're just gabbing sports, chit-chatting like friends,
Fun.
hanging out. Yeah. Whatever's blowing up in the group chat.
What did you think about Sam, Britney Spears' ex on Traitors?
He's flying under the radar.
He is.
And I haven't listened to his Going Deeper, but I want to, because I just saw the snippets on Instagram. And
After interviewing him, and by the way, if you're listening, that episode came out yesterday, so you can listen to it, check it out. But like, you realize how much he's flying under the radar, because he's very comfortable like letting people think that he's like the dumb model.
Oh, smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he had some interesting things to say on your podcast.
He's a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Just migrated here from Iran as a kid. And like,
He was like, everyone's saying there's a gag order about me and Brittany. There is no gag order.
Oh.
We were like,
say more.
Yeah, keep talking.
Well,
Perfect.
let's get into it.
Before we get to Rob, wait, I forgot coming in here that you were on Ben Higgins' season of The Bachelor.
Oh my God, yeah, I was on it. LOL, not a contestant.
Not a contestant.
Yeah. We taught.
You play soccer.
Yeah, Alex Morgan and I, we were tasked with a group date and teaching the girls soccer. And the one thing I remember many things from that day, but the one thing that stands out in my mind beforehand, Alex was like, I'm going to ask in the opening scene when we're saying hi to the women, have any of you guys played soccer? She's going to ask it. And I was like, oh yeah, like for sure. There's 12, 15 girls here. One of them has to have played soccer.
Has to.
Like just based on statistics alone in America.
Even if like park rec back in the day.
Right. Yeah. She asked that and we're both like being like, oh my gosh, we can't wait to see the little soccer, like who's going to be the soccer player in the group. Not one hand goes up. Nobody says they had. We were like,
oh, all right. Starting from the basics.
Yep. Okay. So this is a soccer ball, and this is how you kick it.
Use your feet.
Exactly. No hands, unless we're putting in goal.
I'm a little surprised by that.
Same. I was like, where'd they find these girls?
Interesting.
I was shocked, but it was really interesting. And another thing I remember, we were sitting waiting in the green room. It was like a locker room, and we had on. They came and mic'd us up. And as they were like leaving the room, I took my mic pack and like turned it off and put it back in my pocket or whatever, my waistband. And I don't know if it was a producer or like Chris Harrison. He was like, "You'd never be cast on the show. You're too smart for this. Like, you know that you can turn your like mic back off, and stuff like that." And then like another thing was producers took Alex and I aside to do interviews, and the way that they feed you questions, you can very clearly see how some of these girls say outlandish things because
they don't even know what they're speaking about.
Right. They're just like they're basically just re-saying what has been asked to them. Like one of them was like, "Do you think that some of these girls look like baby giraffes out there?" And I was like, "No." I'm not going to give you what you want here.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Wasn't it really rude and really inconsiderate for Becky to interrupt Aaron?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, no, totally.
It was rude. Yeah. You're right.
You know, you're right. Honestly, I would be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
She sucks.
Oh,
And then all you get that is this she sucks.
Yes,
and then sometimes
exactly.
you get it when like they could be saying that week too,
And
now it's week
back.
and now it's not even flashback. Now it's week 10.
Oh.
And they're recapping a date, and then you hear the person's voice talking about them, and you're not thinking because you're on your phone, you're watching the TV show, and you're just like, "Oh, I can't believe they said that." And it's like they could have said that whenever,
Right.
about anything else. It's really kind of it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's produced.
It did remind me of a time, though. Actually, one of the showrunners now, who used to be a showrunner for the Canadian Bachelor.
Oh,
when
they
I was,
have that up there?
They used to. I
Okay.
don't know how well it's doing anymore.
Right.
But when I was the Bachelor, they had all like the they have Bachelor Finland, they have Bachelor Australia,
Oh, okay,
they have
that's okay.
they have all these franchises.
Of course they do.
And so they brought in all the like showrunners from all around the world to like, I don't do like a meet or greet. And I was the current Bachelor, so they asked me to show up and just kind of meet people. And I was talking to the Canadian executives. And it was really fascinating to hear them talking because, like, unlike a lot of my peers, like, I do recognize that there's a lot of editing and, like, they can do and say crazy shit. There's also, like, no gun to your head.
Right. Yeah.
You show up, you have agency. You can
Yes.
say no, you can be like, yeah, I don't want to do that or say that or whatever. And, like, what the producers are there to do and what they're mostly notorious for doing is making you feel good about bad decisions. They're not going to stop you making from bad decisions. But I remember talking to these executives and just how they were like, yeah, honestly, like everyone blames producers, but like the edits they're completely accurate. They were just like dying on this vine.
Right.
And I'm thinking like, I'm talking to the person who's in charge of the edit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, yeah, it's accurate to you because we're watching the show through like your point of view, like your opinion about these people. You get to control the edit. So like in your world, in your mind, it's completely accurate. But
sure.
like, it's just like the confidence that even the producers had in themselves, because like I've had talked to a lot of producers that have since left the show, and some of them have like a lot of like guilt.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's a lot of, it's a spectrum of justifications, like,
right.
And like some of the producers don't do crazy weird shit, and some of them are like sadistic.
Do you get do you get paired up with a producer? Like somebody's like, that's your girl.
No,
that's your guy.
It's more like, like you do become friends with the producers, and if you kind of connect with one, and that producer will become your producer. But that's more because like purely, it's like, hey, John trusts you, so like you should work with John.
Got it.
And like get the most out of John.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like they're not. The producers are pretending to be friends.
Ooh,
rough,
shady.
Yeah, but it does go both ways, and I will say that because the contestants also pretend to be the producers' friends because they stop reaching out to the producers when the producers stop giving them things.
Well, let's ask Boston Rob what he thinks of the producers of Traitors.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, Boston Rob is ready to go. Let's bring him up. Rob.
Boston Rob.
What's up? Did it work?
Wow, it worked.
It worked. My wife, what did you say before you came on?
That like high school me is quaking. I'm unwell to be looking at your face right now and talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
Incredible. You're an icon. You're a legend.
Oh, I'm looking at that artwork in the background. Okay, so Boston Red Sox. Oh, that's very cool.
My wife got me that as a wedding present a lot of years ago. A lot of years ago now.
That's great. Really kind of owning that Boston Rob name.
Yeah.
Rob, we obviously loved watching you on Traitors. I'm not someone who watched Survivor, so I was new to who you were. And as someone who has been on reality TV before, like I just got to say, you really are truly a reality TV star. Like I think there's a lot of people who go on these shows and like everyone who goes on reality TV is just like given the title of reality TV star, but there are some stars and there are some people who show up. But like, damn man, you dominated the first, how many episodes has it been? It's been the RHOBH show.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I'm just really impressed. You've been fun to watch. I'm a bit worried going forward. Like why are we gonna give a shit? But anyways, I just want to say, to much respect, you were a force in that show, and it's been very cool, man. What did you think of the experience?
It was fun to do. Like it was a different experience. They'd been asking me since the first season to do it, and just like timing and everything else, I kind of wanted to see what it was about first. And then this season it worked out, and despite the result, I'm still happy that I went. I had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. I've been doing these things for over 2 decades now, so I can't really go into any of these competition type shows without having a big target on me. So I kind of expected to feel the heat from the beginning, and we made the most of it, right?
Yeah, you really did. Did you feel like you were forced to play as aggressively as you did? Because like just, as a viewer, it really looks like you showed up guns a-blazing and really embraced the target on your back. It's almost as like you were in survival mode since the moment you got there.
Yeah. So, I mean, initially that wasn't my plan, but like with any of these shows and competitions, like you can't really have a plan and think you're going to just execute it flawlessly. Like the key is to be able to adapt to different situations. And when I showed up in Scotland the night before we were about to start, the producers like told me about this twist they wanted to do. And for all the reasons in the world, I told them why it wasn't a good idea. Because like theoretically, none of them should shake his hand to let me in. You're already elevating me and putting me on this pedestal. So even if they do, they're not going to like that. And they're like, don't worry, if it doesn't work, we have another way we'll get you in. And then I heard about they wouldn't tell me. I said, what is it? They're like, we'll tell you later.
Yeah, they're like, you shot down our first idea. We're not telling you any more of ours.
The other way, you're going to fuck me.
So to answer your question, my plan was to not play as aggressively because, I mean, game theory optimal strategy for this show is to keep your mouth shut and not say anything, right? Until the end. You got to get to the end. But because of the situation I was put in with the way it started and everything else with my reputation, I'm not able to play that optimal theoretical game. I have to play my game. And even still, when I entered the turret with the other guys, I still was going to let them take the lead right up until the point where I realized that, Bob was targeting myself, Carolyn. And then I can't be a passenger in a car that's going to crash. Like I got to grab the wheel and take control of my own fate. And it makes for good TV.
Yeah, it was great TV. Do you think it almost felt like the biggest challenge for people like you and like say Wes and just like kind of other gamers as you guys kind of like are known as compared to like say the Housewives or people from the Bachelor franchise? It seemed like to really work against you that there were a lot of people who really weren't showing up to play a game almost. Like, who knows? Like we talked to Derek and, he kind of flat out said like, other people from his perspective were more like making sure that they were well liked, conscious of the edit or things like that. And here you are playing the game. Did you feel that while doing it as opposed to like being on Survivor? Everyone's playing the same game. Everyone knows why they're there. You were playing a game that other people weren't even participating in. Sometimes it felt like.
So that's the thing, like, and like, I don't want to like nerd out on you, but like you can go into the different levels of the meta game and it will go beyond. And if you have someone that's just showing up for this experience, they're almost like wild cards. They don't want to participate in that. So then you have to find out how does that factor into the equation. I found it interesting that like I was able to bond and become friends with people outside of the reality gamer space. And to me, that was like one of the biggest takeaways, becoming friends with Dylan. They didn't really show it a lot, but I worked really well with Chriselle and Nikki and even Sierra. So to take like a relationship that like with people that don't have that background and figure out how to utilize it within the game without them knowing that you're doing that takes a special skill set that, like, like I've been able to do for a lot of years, so I feel like I'm good at it. The converse to that is someone like Bob the Drag Queen, who has no gamer background, but he is so super smart and really good at identifying, the psychology of different people. And I was able to witness that firsthand, and I was really impressed by it. Right up until the point where he pointed the target at me. But yeah, it's interesting. And in previous seasons, you've seen it with like Phaedra, really good at strategy and stuff. So it's weird to see the crossover. And at the same time, sometimes the gamers kind of like fall short when they enter the castle, where they might be great in their respective individual games.
Yeah.
So
fascinating. Who do you think now that you're gone? How do you anticipate the trade, like Danielle and Caroline? How do you anticipate them operating? And then, who in your mind do you think is kind of flying under the radar as we're watching it as viewers in this moment?
Yeah. So the turret right now is a mess, and I fully own it. Like, I know that I started that whole thing. And it's a disaster. It really is. And just the lack of trust. It's supposed to be a game where the traitors are against the faithful, and this season it's the traitors against the faithful and the traitors against each other. And when you have 3 people, and even 4 really with Bob, but people that really understand, as I said before, the meta game, you see not only like just the game on its surface, trying to stay away from the faithful, but also who do you want to bring to the end? And you see the alliances and you see all of that working. So it's such a mess that I don't know, if they're going to be able to put their differences aside and work together. I don't. And as far as who I think is playing a good game under the radar, Dylan, he's great. He was so perceptive at first. I mean, he's had some misfires, he's focused on Gabby. Gabby's another one. She's playing really, like low key and pretending like she doesn't care and doesn't know what's going on. But I think she's more perceptive than she's leading on to be.
Yeah. Gabby's pretty sharp. We know her, and I'm not surprised to hear you say that.
I feel like of all of the people at the round table, when you were tasked with giving your reason as to why you were not a traitor, giving your shtick or like your, I'm gonna explain to you guys why I'm not. You were so calm and put together in that moment, and so many people, even if they aren't traitors, become almost upset or defensive or scared, kind of chaotic. When you went into roundtables, you were like, I know the reasons people are going to bring against me, therefore I have my speech put together. Or were you like in the moment able to pivot and kind of recalibrate and come up with really good reasoning? Because we knew you were a traitor from home, and even sometimes you would start to give your spiel, and I'm like, he's not a traitor.
Maybe he's not. Yeah.
He's convincing.
No, it's a good question. I have always been really good, like in the moment, and like, quick-witted. I think growing up in Boston, working in construction, like you catch a lot of shit when you're on the construction sites, and you better be sharp and figure it out. So I never really planned anything. Like, truthfully, even Derek coming at me, that was a complete surprise. I didn't expect him to come at me, but something that happened previously helped me to defend against that. And I'll discuss that in a second. But to directly answer your question, you have to understand your audience, right? So like different people, I would need to appeal to differently. And I think that just comes from like years of experience of playing with people, playing these games, but also having self-awareness to know what different people needed. Some people that were more emotional, you had to appeal to their emotional side. Other people like Tom, you'd have to appeal to his ego. Other people like Ivor and Sam, you'd have to appeal to their logic. So would have to figure out an argument depending on what the question was asked or how it was going to go one way or the other. With Bob the Drag Queen, they cut a lot of it out, but like I started that, I didn't really want to have to go after him so early. But once I saw that he pointed out like the guys in the cages, personally, I was like, man, he's got to go because I got to get him before he gets me. in hindsight, maybe I didn't have to do it that exact day, but I had already started to spread it around the castle. And when I did, I can't like put the lid back on it. It's out now. And truthfully, that round table was going towards Sierra and Nikki. And I'm the one that kind of steered it towards Bob. But in the moment when I did, I came at him and I came at him hard, and I knew I had to like get him. I had to be hardcore about it. And it was a lot more than you guys saw. It was a lot of back and forth. But at one point, as I'm accusing him, he turns it around and he says, "And you're saying that about me, but it applies to you." And I stopped him. I was like, "You see that? That's the mirror technique where someone tries to turn it right back on you." So fast forward to when Derek accuses me. I think he thought I was going to turn it back around and come at him, and he was going to use my mirror stuff against him. But really quickly in the moment, I realized that by doing that, it would be a huge mistake. So his argument was that one of the three of us were going to be one of the three of us from the cages were going to be a traitor. I agreed with him. I said, "Derek, I think you're right. I think one of the three of us is a traitor, and I actually don't think it's you." And I pointed it towards Wes. And Wes was completely not expecting that, and then his reaction set off a chain reaction of events.
You're so
You're
good.
goddamn
I know.
killer, Rob.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's awesome, man. We're learning so much. You're seeing this in the past couple episodes. There's comments like, everyone knows you're a faithful. Tom Sandoval, I think people have said this about Dylan. What is it about some of the people in the castle that like everyone just decides we just know they're a faithful? And it does feel like, I saw this last season too, they never say that about someone that ends up being a traitor. It definitely is someone like Peter Weber last year, for a moment. It was like, this guy, we know he's a faithful. Where do you think that comes from? And like, what are people reading when they say that?
So I mean, like a lot of times, like you can logically figure out people that would be faithful, so you can make a case for it. And I actually did this season with a few of the people, and that's why they're not being looked at. For example, in the very first roundtable, Bob the Drag Queen voted for Ivor. I made the argument that now that we know that Bob the Drag Queen is a traitor, there's no way that Ivor could be a traitor, because logically, a traitor wouldn't vote for a traitor the very first night, and that other traitor would be okay with it. So Ivor's now vindicated. So why isn't Ivor being killed? Right? So it makes sense that he's a faithful. And I literally exonerated him with these statements. Now I could have like gone a step further and been like, well, why is he still here? Why is he still here? And I was like, well, maybe he is a traitor, and that's why like that was the other way I was going to go against, instead of going against Brittany. Or I could have gone against Danielle that night. There's so much more to the meta, like when you understand the rules. So we're at the point where if we get another traitor now, we have to recruit. And everybody thinks, or if they think I'm a faithful, I am also the number one person that would be recruited.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now I got to try to keep this mess of a turret together, and it just doesn't make sense. So I think, to go back and answer your question, I know I did in a roundabout way. I think sometimes it's the perception of you just get a feeling. Sometimes somebody's doing some groundwork to make you feel a certain way. I know Sierra was definitely shocked that I was a traitor when I finally, stood up and said I was. But I did so much groundwork to make her think that I was a faithful. Between like the logic and the reasoning, I used her example of being placed in the casket because I knew she was a faithful. It was like, they're trying to frame me the same way they're trying to frame you. And, in her mind, she's like, yeah, that makes sense. You're absolutely not. You can't be. They're doing it to you too. So when you can put yourself in the position of that other player and find some relatability, then you almost will convince yourself of it. I mean, it's a lot of it's psychology, but like a lot of it is also like just common human interactions with other people and relationships that they have. Like, you don't want to believe the person that you trust is tricking you.
Yeah.
Because if you do, then you have to literally admit that you were wrong. And like, people don't like to admit they're wrong. They don't like to admit that they're convictions. I mean, if they did, like, everybody's relationships would be great, right? Like, the first thing you do is you defend your position. And if your position comes from a place of internal conviction, like, forget it. You just crush yourself.
Exactly. Because we all love to think we're good at reading people. I've never heard someone say, you know what, I'm bad at reading people. I've never heard that. Everyone always says they're so good at reading people. And that, to your point, Rob, to acknowledge that, like, you really stood by someone who ended up being a traitor, like, not only do they not want to admit it, it's a little unnerving to realize, who have I had conviction about in the real world that I was wrong about, and maybe, like, never really found out they were doing me dirty. It's a kind of a spooky, eerie feeling.
Yeah, the next thing you know, you got to go to Vegas and get hugs in the hallway with your buddy.
That video is so cute, by the way.
That video.
Yeah. Have you reached out to Sierra or Dylan, the people that were really shocked by your traitorness?
I did. I mean, Dylan and I have been friends and been in touch since we filmed this last summer. He's good, and I did reach out to Sierra, to Bob the Drag, like everybody, you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at the reunion. It's tough. It's also like, I've been playing these games for 22, 23 years. So I have a unique perspective that a lot of people don't. And I can go and play, and I realize it's a part of my life. It's something that I've done. It's not my life, even though, like, collectively, I guess it is. But, like, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? After the fact.
Are you tired of playing the games? Like, is there any part of you that's ready to retire? Or are we going to see you on a 7th season of Survivor or Special Forces or another show?
I mean, I thought I was retired, and then about a year ago, they called me for this Deal or No Deal Island. And then I did this, and it's weird because, like, I always thought I would transition to hosting something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought, like, that would be the evolution. But it's funny, the last couple of years, I've enjoyed playing so much again that I wonder, like, if I were hosting a show, if I would just, become frustrated with not being able to compete.
Probably.
So I think I got to figure out some way to do some kind of a hybrid thing where I'm actually still actively doing something, like player coach or something.
Well, how was Deal or No Deal Island?
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, a different strategy, different experience for me, because usually when I'm on an island, like, I'm starving and suffering and, not eating. And this was like the banker's island. It was very luxurious. They took care of us. At the same time, the strategy to that game is much different than Survivor. In that, like, there's so much that you can't control, like similar to Traitors. Like, Traitors was probably the hardest, like, not the physically the hardest. Survivor is the physically the hardest. But, like, strategically and mentally, Traitors was beyond. And I think just because of the sheer number of people, like, trying to manage 23 people versus only 10 people on a tribe or 12 on Deal and No Deal, it became really challenging, even for someone like myself that's been doing it a long time.
It's clear how how things are really outside of your control in Traitors. Like, there's just a lot of variables that there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
You really have to be very adaptive, it seems.
It's true. And in Deal or No Deal, like with Survivor, like, you really rely on your strategy and your social game to get you to the end and potentially to win, based on how you treat the other people, to vote on the jury. With Deal or No Deal, there are parts of it where you can control your fate and your outcome, whether it's in the challenges or how you treat people at the camp. But there's also a huge element of luck, like what goes on in the banker's temple. And at first, when they told me the premise of the game, they didn't give us the rules till we got there. And I looked at it and I was like, man, this is terrible. And they said, why? And I said, the problem is, like, you're giving so much power to the people on the bottom. The people that do the worst, all they have to do is win a coin flip against the banker. And if they do, they have all the power to eliminate someone else. And I was just like, man, I can't believe you brought me all the way out here for this. And it's a lot. And then as time went on, I realized, like, man, this is actually genius. This is actually like a like just like a little bit of like how life is, like there's so much you think that's actually in your control, but really so much of it is left to chance.
Yeah.
And really, in order to live in that game, you got to be willing to die. You got to put your life on the line and risk it to play the banker. That's the only way you actually have control. And it's like so true of real life that like, nothing comes just from playing it safe all the time. Once in a while, you got to take a chance, right?
Absolutely.
So you lost to your wife in Survivor. Did she give you any tips going into Traitor?
Did I really lose though?
Ding, ding, ding.
That's true. That's true.
At this point, I think she would probably tell me, keep your mouth shut, but she knows me too well. And I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. So there was no discussion.
When you're watching it back with her, is she giving you notes? Is she critiquing your moves?
No, she loved it. My kids are old enough now. I have teenage daughters that it's so fun because like, I'm embracing like being a dad. I'm in that role where I'm really embarrassing them, when I use the word sus incorrectly. They're like, oh, you're so cringe. And it's so much fun to like, to do a show like this and let them kind of watch it. And, it's a fun family thing now.
What has been your girls' reaction?
They loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it. They're obviously... this week I wasn't here. I was with some friends on a golf trip, but they were disappointed, that it was over. But like, it's a good teaching lesson too. It's like, you don't always have to win to get something out of it. And overall it's just like a really positive experience for me.
That's awesome, Rob. Thanks for taking the time, man. Do we have any other questions for Rob before we let him go?
I was just wondering if you won brownie points with your girls going on vacation with Dylan.
Oh, when I went to play golf with Dylan. Yeah, I mean, I'm the worst. Like, I didn't know about his brother and the whole High School Musical and everything. And I think that's probably why, like, we're really good friends. But they're a little young for it, but they like everybody else thinks Dylan's really cute, right? So,
yeah. Same.
Yeah, he's so cute.
All right, Rob, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for all the insight. Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch you, and we I think I speak for everyone. We hope to see you back on some show sooner than later.
Amazing. Thanks,
right.
Nick.
Take care, buddy. All right, bye-bye.
I love him so much.
So much fun.
I love him so much.
Did you watch Survivor?
No.
I never watched
so
Survivor.
I knew nothing about him, but I was like, this guy's a killer.
No, I mean, he was like Heart Rob. Yeah, Heart
Yeah,
Rob.
that's what I heard. I saw pictures.
Survivor. He was so good. And
bring up the Heart Rob, Leia.
Find my Heart Rob.
The Heart Rob is. We just saw him on the screen.
That is still him. He's still in there, Nick.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, but like there was.
He's in there. I saw it. Look at him.
I mean,
he was like 26. He was young when he went on the first season, I think.
Babe.
No, he was like, he was the heart. He was definitely the heartthrob for sure. I mean, 6 seasons.
And he never won.
I think he did.
Oh, he did.
I think
right?
he did.
Yeah. I mean, I know his wife won the season they were on together. It was like season 8.
I think that's an incredible story.
Right.
He won season 22.
22. Thank you. Took him a while, but he got there.
No, before we let Kelley go, we need to ask her about who's getting the remote.
The remote.
Okay. No. If you are in the bed first.
I want your opinion on this too.
If you're in the bed first,
right?
Do you run the errands? Like the nighttime errands, like gotta get the water, gotta lock the doors, turn off the lights, turn on the fan, do like all the things.
So I feel like we split this pretty evenly. But yeah, if somebody is going to bed earlier.
If someone's in bed first.
Right. But are you getting in bed first for the purpose of getting out of the errands?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, then you're just smarter.
Exactly.
Therefore, you win.
Thank you. Case closed.
If you didn't get your way, would you start singing in bed?
For the things that you wanted?
This is what dreams are made. That's what I just kept singing. He was like, shut up. Get out of the bed. Go get the remote. And then I started reading my book out loud.
To be clear, I did not care if we watched TV. She wanted to watch TV.
Okay.
We couldn't find the remote, and she
was like, I was here first, therefore you have to go
get it. I was like, no.
Yeah. So I said, fine,
So I
I'll
got
make
on my
your night
laptop,
miserable.
and then she started reading out loud for 20 minutes.
Y'all's bedtime routine sounds super fun.
Yeah, if you ever want to come over.
Yeah, right.
Usually we get along really, really well.
Yeah.
If you do
So-
come over, just know you will be asked to get the water and the
Right,
food.
right, right. Oh,
Because we're both
absolutely.
in bed, so someone's got to run
For
the
sure.
air.
And you'll be sharing the water too, by the way.
We pick up,
Glass?
but Natalie collects them.
Oh, from the
They-
big gulps
exactly
from,
how you understood it
from
is-
like a 7-Eleven.
No,
No.
they have just a large water cup that they share between the two of them.
Always for
Stanley
every
cup.
meal.
Not on either side. On
Just-
one side,
right,
if somebody
right.
taps in the middle of the
Stanley,
night.
one
Call it
Can you
Stanley
pass
cup.
communal
me? Can you pass me the
cup.
water?
For every meal.
For every meal.
No.
For every meal.
For like, if we're sitting down for supper together for breakfast, lunch, like we make one.
If we have
big
company,
thing of water.
we will like pretend we're not animals.
Yeah.
But when it's just us and our daughter, it's a Stanley cup.
I
That's
have
wild.
never met a couple who's
Is that-
done that.
Is that
It
crazy?
blows my mind every time they say
That
it.
is crazy.
Yes, it's
It's crazy.
Oh,
Everyone
we each
has
have our
their
own
own.
glass of water.
100%.
Right. Yeah. We don't bring water. She has like her Stanley, but I drink like a little like nighttime sleepy time drink, and whoever's making themselves one, they'll be like, "Hey, do you want one?"
Right.
And then they'll make you. I'll either
Right.
make it for her.
Y'all
or
are
she-
healthy. I get it. Whatever. You know.
Yeah, we definitely do
Y'all don't do
not.
TV in the
Ew.
bedroom?
My dream.
Oh my God. It's my favorite thing ever.
I couldn't live without it.
It's my favorite thing ever. There's nothing better than getting cozy and
Mm.
cuddling and watching a movie in a dark, cold
Will you fall
bedroom.
asleep while watching it?
Yes.
Maybe,
Okay.
I
but
put
it's up for debate.
I put on
Oh.
a sleep timer, and Michael Scott talks me to sleep every
and
night.
then it shuts off eventually.
I don't
Yeah,
need
shuts
it
off on
to
That's not good
fall
for your REM.
asleep.
I just want to say.
Yeah, no, this is guys. We got to talk
Yeah,
about this.
I don't need it to fall asleep,
Okay,
but I
but you
do
enjoy
love
it.
to like get in the bed after a long day and like lay down and cuddle and be warm and cozy and watch a show, turn off the show.
Oh,
But sometimes
wow.
I'm ready for bed, so I'll just close these baby eyes.
Yes,
And
and you're
Natalie will
out.
have turned on her TV, and then she will fall asleep, only for me to have to wake up,
I don't
find the
ever watch it
remote.
by
find the
myself
remote,
because it's
and
not
then
fun.
turn off the TV.
I
To be
don't
honest,
ever
you
wanna
are
do it by
selling
myself.
it as very cozy.
It is cozy. I do it for the cozy.
However, it is very bad for your sleep.
But I don't watch it to go to sleep.
No, I'm just
Regardless
saying
of your
in
reasoning for
general.
watching it.
Well, I
But it
didn't
doesn't
ask
seem like-
you.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
You know what? It doesn't seem like you were having an issue with it. Therefore,
Yeah,
continue.
Yeah.
Have Nick get the big gulp.
Nick get the big gulp. Nick find the remote.
Yeah.
I won't be singing.
Or is it crazy that we share a big gulp every?
Everyone says it is,
I have
so
never
maybe.
encountered, heard of, but I'm here for
But
it.
what's crazy-
I support it.
No one has in person in the moment shamed us.
Well,
So you know, like if we're
but
like,
you said if you have people over, you get 2 glasses. So
Oh.
you're not really showing your true self.
that's true. We're
I
lying.
actually
We have
don't know.
company.
I don't. I might have lied about the 2 glasses.
If you
I'm-
have company.
Yeah.
Oh.
I might get like.
I'm picturing you guys. I'm picturing like Lady and the Tramp. Like you guys that put a Stanley in the middle. You have like a long straw, and you guys like both like lean
There,
over.
that's basically.
There's only one straw.
There's one
though.
straw.
But you just like
But we
you're
do
like,
share.
oh, I'm gonna sip this and then put it back
In
in
the
the
middle.
middle. Okay, like neutral territory.
I don't even need a straw, but
I need the straw.
we have a straw.
Wow, that's cool.
That's
Good for you
cool.
guys. You know, less dishes. I guess
That's true. Less dishes that I don't have to do.
You don't do dishes.
Yeah, you're right.
This is incredible. I love loving
But I don't do
this.
laundry, so
Okay.
It's even trade.
even trade.
Yeah.
All right.
Kelly, this has been so much fun.
Thanks for having me. I had a blast, guys.
We also had a blast. Please, I mean, obviously, you have your podcast. Is there anything else that you want people to follow you or your Instagram? Or are you on?
At-
are you back on? Are you
At
TikTok?
Kelley
Are you
O'Hara.
TikToking?
I am not I've never TikToked.
You never TikToked.
No. So
Okay.
at Kelley O'Hara.
Fuck TikTok.
Yeah.
At Kelly O'Hara.
Maybe I'll get on TikTok now that
Hmm.
it's.
I can't
Almost
even get it on my
gone.
phone.
Oh, true. I
Right.
actually do have it on my phone.
I had it on my phone and I dropped my phone, shattered it. This was like a day after the ban, and it was like I got a new phone. They're like, "Sorry, you can't download TikTok."
Oh, because like it wouldn't even transfer from phone to phone.
Like right now, if you get in if you go get a new phone,
Yeah, you can't get it out of the app store, right?
Yeah.
It's not
Correct.
available.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang. Well, it's probably for the best.
Definitely for the
that's
best.
okay. My team is logged into my account.
There
It's
you
okay.
go. Yeah, you're like I don't have control over my socials.
No, honestly, I'm like so offline. I'm getting more. I'm about 92% offline.
I aspire for that one day.
Kelly,
Thank you so much
So
for
much
having me,
fun.
guys. It was a blast. Bye.
thanks for listening, guys. Be sure to check out our Going Deeper episode with Britney Spears' ex, Sam Asghari. Also, next week, we got another great week lined up for you. So we'll see you then. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And don't forget to listen to Viall Files Plus. You can sign up going to viallfiles.com, or if you listen to it on Apple Podcasts, you can sign up directly there. So be sure to do that. We'll see you on Monday. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.